From Grand Rapids, Michigan, these are the 2019 Masters National Championship, live on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel.
Why deal with the hassle of transport when you can rent new boats from Wintech? Keep it simple. Show up, row, win, and party. Leave the logistics and hassles to us. Check out the service we're providing Team Chinook, and if you'd like more information, feel free to stop by the Row America booth and talk to a representative today.
Good afternoon from beautiful Grand Rapids, Michigan, on the banks of the Grand River in Riverfront Park in downtown. These are the 2019 Masters National Championships for U.S. Rowing here in Riverside Park. Glad to have you along. I'm Mark Purcell here with Rob Shea, a member of the local organizing committee. We'll be calling the races this afternoon as we have the third day of finals in this huge regatta. Over 2,123 entries lined up here, the second highest entry total ever for this event, the second largest U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships in history. And Rob, it's great to be here. A little bit warmer today than it's been the last couple of days, but great conditions for racing. A little bit of a breeze every now and then, but for the most part, the water here on the Grand River looking gorgeous.
Yeah, we've had fantastic conditions today. We didn't have any of the fog of yesterday, and no rain at all, no rain in the forecast, so looking great. If we can just avoid those little breezes, we're going to get a little cloud cover in the afternoon. That'll help with the direct sun a little bit, and we can look forward to a fantastic day of rowing.
149 clubs being represented here at the Masters National Championships from all around the country and, well, across the continent too, because we do have entries from Canada as well as a club from in Austria, from Linz, Austria, here rowing. And so we are looking forward to some great racing today. And there have been some very exciting finals, especially in the larger boats here in the last 2 days of the finals.
That's right. Looking forward to day 3 of rowing at the Masters National Championship. Each day we have heats and semifinals in the morning and early afternoon, and then those determine who the finals will be advancing into these events at this point in the day.
We'll have mixed doubles to begin with, a number of sculling events. We will have the open fours a little bit later, and we will see what's going on with the remainder of the races as they go on. Racing between now and about 7:45 tonight Eastern Time, a race every 3 minutes coming down the course here at Riverside Park in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Mentioned the weather. We had a few raindrops yesterday, but just raindrops, no real showers. Well, you're expecting some just clouds today, which will keep the sunshine away and make things better for the rowers and the commentators, as we will be able to see what's happening on the water without some glare sometimes. And we will be seeing some very exciting finishes as well. You can keep up with all the results at herenow.com and also follow along with the schedule. Again, beginning racing at 4:33, which is very, very close to beginning as we look up the course here and we see the boats in the starting gate and wait for the start of this first final. 90 degrees, according to Weather Underground right now here in Grand Rapids. Not as much of a breeze as there was a little bit earlier in the day.
It tends to come and go, so we haven't seen it consistently. We've been looking at a top wind of maybe 8 to 9, 10 miles an hour, but it comes intermittently, so we get a lot of clear spots like this where the water is very clear. We're not seeing much chop out there at all, but then every once in a while we'll get a bit of a breeze, so just hope that that's not happening when we have our races going on.
We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor today, Vespoli, live stream partner of U.S. Rowing, providing the U.S. Rowing live stream right now on the YouTube channel. A great way for folks and friends and family who are not here in Grand Rapids to follow along with the competition here in the finals. First race will be the mixed doubles in the B category, and it is underway right now. The lineup: Jackson and Moran from Beaver Creek Sculling Composite in lane 1. Lane 2 from Lincoln Park, it's Casavecchia and Caffey. In lane 3 from Coaches Association of Composite, Huffman and Steele. Dundon and Coletta from 612 Endurance in lane 4. Kaplan and Kaplan from Vesper, lane 5. DeLong and Cook from OKC Riversport in lane 6 as they are underway in the first final of the day here. And the excitement just begins to build. It's great to see the traffic launching and all the boats heading down the course and preparing for their finals. Again, races every 3 minutes, so you'll hardly have a chance to blink before everything comes flying down the course. We're watching the first set, the doubles in the sculls, and this is in the B category. We'll talk about the different categories. If you're watching on YouTube, the categories are representing age ranges. The B range, 36 to 42, so the average age of the boat has to be between 36 and 42. 1,000-meter races, so they go very quickly, and a lot happens, and we are seeing a lot happening right now in lane 2. Lincoln Park out by about a boat length over the second place boat from Coaches Association Composite right now. And then it looks like a third belongs to the 612 Endurance boat, lined up right across the way as they cross through the halfway point of this race.
In these mixed events, we have a one man and one woman in each shell. In the doubles,
in the mixed events, equal number of males and females in the boat. So when you get up to the 8, 4, and 4, but here on the doubles, just 1 and 1. So Lincoln Park out to an early lead, Casavecchia and Caffey right now. In the meantime, they are being tagged along with the boat in lane 5 right now from Vesper, Kaplan and Kaplan, who really put on a show in previous finals. Almost even with that boat from Lincoln Park as they head across 750. Third place right now belongs to 612 Endurance from Dundon and Coletta. Fourth at 750. Is that Coaches Association Composite, a Vesper boat, still trying to tag Lincoln Park in the double as they go down the line here. First final of the day. Lincoln Park, though, maintaining their lead as they fly down this course. You can see the beautiful, almost mirror-like water here. Lincoln Park and Vesper continuing to battle in this first final, the mixed doubles B category, and it is Lincoln Park prevailing by about half a boat length over that boat from Vesper, and a big push there from Coaches Association Composite. Looks like they came across for the bronze. And 612 Endurance, OKC River Sport, and the Beaver Creek Sculling Composite going across in the mixed doubles for the B category.
That was a huge push by Coaches Association in lane 3 to edge out 612 for the bronze.
Now to the mixed quads. More sculling. This time the DH category 50 to 54 with Chinook in lane 1. In lane 2, Atomic. 612 Endurance in lane 3. Dallas Composite in lane 4. Then La Baie Verte in lane 5. And in lane 6, Greater Columbus Composite. And these quads really have been flying down the 1,000 meters on the Grand River in all the finals and all the age categories. And it's always great to see, especially in the final portion of the race, how these boats can really fly.
So again, another mixed race, which will feature 2 men and 2 women in each shell in the D category, which is the age range of 50 to 54 as the average of the rowers in the shell.
Appears at 612 Endurance, the Dallas Composite and Greater Columbus Composite out in front at the halfway point, with advantage, I think, perhaps to that Dallas Composite in lane 4 right now. Dallas just ahead of Columbus, 612 Endurance right behind them, 1, 2, 3 in this mixed quad final.
So looking at our screen now, on the far right is lane 1, on the far left is lane 6. So in the lead there in lane 4 is Dallas, in lane 6 Columbus, in lane 3 is 612 Endurance.
And it is Dallas Composite out by about 2/3 of a boat length, passing through 750. 612 Endurance right there with them. Greater Columbus, which was in second, has slipped slightly, but they're beginning to increase their stroke rate and begin to move here in the final portion of the race. But coming down to the line in the mixed quads in the D age category, a good shot of this Dallas Composite boat that has been leading since the halfway point, still looking strong as they stroke towards the finish and across the line. It's Dallas, followed by 612 Endurance, then the Greater Columbus boat, 1, 2, 3. La Baie Verte, just ahead of Atomic. And the Chinook boat then crossing the line as well. The mixed quads, great racing. Again, thanks to our presenting sponsor, Vespoli. Vespoli proudly builds all of their state-of-the-art rowing shells in the modern manufacturing facility located here in the U.S. Each shell meticulously handcrafted by their experienced and dedicated team of American craftsmen and women. Vespoli provides customers with the finest quality racing shells from single sculls to eights, and every shell backed by a 5-year bow-to-stern warranty. Check out Vespoli.com to see all their offerings, including oars, boat slings, and tools.
That was the mixed 4 in the D category, and now we move on to the mixed 4 in the F category. In lane 1, Chinook. In lane 2, California Yacht Club Composite B. In lane 3, Baltimore Composite. In lane 4, Cincinnati. In lane 5, San Diego. And in lane 6, Rocky Mountain.
A couple of letters of the alphabet and a decade up in age from the last race. So we're looking at the race in between 500 and 750. The Baltimore Composite out ahead.
California Yacht Club in second in lane 2, followed by Cincinnati Cincinnati in lane 4 in second, followed by California Yacht Club Composite B in lane 2.
Robert Miller and the Cincinnati boat. I've seen his name on quite a few of the boats that have been in the finals here in the mixed quads in the F category. A couple of medals around his neck already.
Battle
we watch him come down.
The silver here between California Yacht in lane 2 and Cincinnati in lane 4. With Baltimore Composite in lane 3 solidly in the lead.
You see a V from Vesper in that Baltimore Composite, so a seat taken there. And they're coming to the line. It is the Baltimore Composite with the gold in the mixed quads for the F category. Cincinnati in second, third belonging to the California Yacht Club Composite B. Then San Diego. Chinook and Rocky Mountain in that order. Great racing already, plenty still to come here at the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. Among the sponsors, NK, known worldwide for its high-performing line of waterproof speed measurement, timing, and audio systems for competitive rowers. Their products used by virtually every school and club program, from novices to Olympic medal winners and every skill level in between. All their products proudly manufactured here in the USA. Visit them online at nksports.com as we go to the men's lightweight AA single final.
In lane 1, Tristan Hitt from Cincinnati. In lane 2, Hamza Aslam from Riverfront Recapture. In lane 3, Johan Maguire from Greater Columbus. In lane 4, August Culbert from Lincoln Park. In lane 5, Rodrigo Silva Urbaneo from Miami. And in lane 6, Andrew Sims from Indianapolis.
AA, the youngest category racing in this Masters National Championships. Right now, the 1, 2, 3 are 3, 5, and 4 in that order. So it is John McGuire, Greater Columbus, about a half a boat length over the second place boat over Rodrigo Silva Urbanea from Miami. Austin Colbert from Lincoln Park in third here at the 750-meter mark. But Urbanea and Colbert both bow ball to bow ball as they come across that 750-meter mark. Then it's back to Hamza Aslam from Riverfront Recapture, Tristan Hitt from Cincinnati, and the boat from Indianapolis of Andrew Sims.
Now entering the sprint zone with just 150 meters left in the race.
John McGuire of Greater Columbus working hard, trying to stay ahead of Urbanea and Colbert. Big push here from Urbanea of Miami. He's getting close to catching up. The final few strokes here in the men's lightweight AA's as they come to the line with Johan Maguire from Greater Columbus, crossing about a half a boat length ahead of Rodrigo Silva Urbanea from Miami. Then it's August Colbert from Lincoln Park in that order. Tristan Hitt from Cincinnati, Hamza Aslam and from Riverfront Recapture after that, and Andrew Sims from Indianapolis, rounding out the field at the men's lightweight AA singles. Live streaming of the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships from Grand Rapids, Michigan. On the air on this Saturday afternoon of finals, I'm Mark Purcell with Rob Shea as we are watching these boats load in, line up, and shoot down this course as these finals are roaring down the course every 3 minutes. And we have another lightweight singles event happening right now. The men's lightweight A category single. Evan Santala from San Diego is in lane 2. In lane 3 from Minnesota, Perry Ragland. Undine's Matthew Rhines in lane 4. On lane 5, Hector Diaz from Riverfront Recapture. Lane 6 is Hamam Al-Shagra from Austin. 5 boats in this men's lightweight A category final in the singles.
A category for rowers from the age of 27 to 35. And the lightweight designation indicates that there is a weight classification which the rowers are required to weigh in at the officials' tent at the beginning of the day and ensure that they meet the correct lightweight classification category in order to be eligible for this event.
Watching the boats row through the 500-meter mark. Oh, I'm only seeing 4 boats in this race at the moment.
Lane 6 did not start from Austin, so we just have lanes 2 through 5 in this event.
That means Perry Ragland from Minnesota is out in front at the halfway point, but Hector Diaz of Riverfront Recapture right there with him. Not far behind is Undine's Matthew Ryan, and Evan Santala from San Diego in 4th right now. But a big move. Riverfront Recapture's Hector Diaz is really pushing hard as they stroke towards the 750-meter mark, beginning to catch up, if not pass, the Matthew Ryan's Undine boat, or Perry Ragland's Minnesota boat right now. Hector really putting on a show between the 500 and 750 marks, and he now has the lead by 2/3 of a boat length over Perry Ragland of Minnesota and Matthew Ryan. Evan Santala from San Diego chasing the pack down as they come down to the line. Really, Hector Diaz from Riverfront Recapture with a big move there, Rob. Really moving up on the Minnesota boat.
Now this is the finals. It's your last shot.
It might even be here, if you're just a single sculler, your last shot of the entire regatta.
Many of these rowers will participate in multiple events, but some of them are just coming, load up a single on the truck, and there we go.
And Perry Ragland from Minnesota, a big push coming on, and then the final meters, a big push from Ragland. He crosses the line just ahead of Hector Diaz from Riverfront Recapture, maybe 3 feet. Matthew Ryan from Undine finishing in between them in 3rd place. Then Evan Santala from San Diego crossing the line in the men's lightweight singles A category.
Showing really what you can do with an opportunity for a sprint at the end of a race. It's an opportunity. So some rowers will, prefer to take the lead and hang on to it, but sometimes they like to hang out in second and then make that big push at the end and blow past just in the final seconds before you have time to react. So that last 150 meters is the key area where that can really occur.
And really usually more difficult in a single scull than it is in the bigger
Extraordinarily
boats.
difficult. We see it much more frequently in the bigger shells, but for somebody to do that in a single, it's not like you can blame anybody else in the boat, as they say.
That's right. And speaking of the bigger boats right now, the women's open 4s in the A category on the water.
In lane 1, we have Lincoln Park. In lane 2, St. Louis. In lane 3, Genesee. In lane 4, Lake Lure Racing. In lane 5, CRI. And in lane 6, Minneapolis.
You can see the bright green of the Lake Lure Racing.
It's always easy to tell when Lake Lure's in a race.
They are just, it looks like a little bit out ahead of the boat from St. Louis and the boats from CRI and Minneapolis. 600 meters into this 1,000-meter race, and this is where, especially in the 4s, the fun begins to unfold. Lake Lure out in front right now, but really being chased by CRI.
Extraordinarily close this far into the race.
Genesee beginning to track them down too here, Rob.
Battle between lanes 2 through 5 still in the mix.
Here they come to the 750-meter mark right in front of our seats, and we see that Lake Lure is out ahead. Has almost a half a boat length over the CRI and Genesee boats, but Genesee beginning to move too, as is St. Louis. St. Louis now in lane 2 beginning to give Lake Lure a run for their money while Genesee tries to keep up. CRI on the outside also on the move. Minneapolis and Lincoln Park chasing down the front pack. Lake Lure seeing the threat, trying to respond, but here is that big sprint at the end here, John.
Now just 100 meters to go. Lake Lure in lane 4.
St. Louis tracking him down. St. Louis and Lake Lure battling to the finish right here, but they run out of water. It is Lake Lure, St. Louis, CRI, Genesee. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here comes a race for 5th. A big push there from Lincoln Park, and they appear to just cross the line a fraction of a second before Minneapolis. The women's Open Fours A category final. Back to doubles in the open category for the men C age group, 43 to 49. We have Rabas and Best from Capital in lane 1. Unaffiliated boat in lane 2 of Phillips and Jameson. Then Nifton and Borschelt from Texas Center in lane 3. Halpin and Rourke from Georgian Bay in lane 4. In lane 5, it's Chicago's Houts and Reinisch. And in lane 6, Turner and Smith from Hampton Roads in the final for the men's open doubles. And we see that red, white, and blue with the Lone Star, the Texas boat, side by side with the Georgian Bay boat. Lanes 3 and 4, and they are really battling it out.
Out in lane 6 in 3rd, Hampton Roads.
Hampton Roads rowing on the Wayne Creek in Norfolk, Virginia. They have 5 entries. Good to see one of their entries here in the final. 750, it is Texas Center over that boat from Georgian Bay with Hampton Roads right there at their sterns. Then it's the unaffiliated boat in lane 2 of Phillips and Jameson and Chicago's Houts and Reinisch, along with Robinson Best from Capital. But boy, what a battle out front. It looks like the Texas boat of Nifton and Borschelt has begun to pull away from the Georgian Bay boat.
Now just 100 meters left in the race.
You can see the Hampton Roads boat beginning to work hard here, as is the Georgian Bay boat. They want to catch up with Texas, but Texas looks like they're very confident, still swinging their boat and making their way down the course to the gold in the men's open doubles C category final. Then it was Georgian Bay, followed by Hampton Roads, the unaffiliated boat of Phillips and Jameson, crossing, followed by Chicago's Houts and Reinisch. What a race through 3/4 of the race with Georgian Bay and Texas going at it. But there at the end, Texas really making a push. Assured Partners is not just in the insurance business. They're in the business of developing strong and lasting relationships. Relationships built on trust that they earn every day by collaborating with you as partners. By insuring the entire U.S. Rowing Association and over 70% of the clubs nationwide, Assured Partners is confident they can help protect your assets and help you grow. Reach out to Rachel at 856-505-0871 or visit assuredpartners.com/US Rowing to learn more as we watch the Women's Open Singles C category coming down the course with 3 boats very close together here, Rob.
In lane 1, we have Angela Boquin from Chinook. In lane 2, Katie DeLuca of Greenwich. In lane 3, Melissa Hilton of Vesper. In lane 4, Rachel Perry, Dolphin. Lane 5 is a scratch from Texas Center. And in lane 6, Carrie Main from Riverside. So we'll have an empty lane 5.
Quite a few singles entered. The art of single sculling well on display here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. Word about the Dolphin Club, 7 entries from San Francisco, California, rowing in the San Francisco Bay. I imagine they enjoy the still waters, or relatively still waters, of the Grand River here in Grand Rapids, Michigan for this competition. We're watching Rachel Perry from Dolphin, Christina Skeffington, Carrie Main of Riverside.
Out in front in lane 4, Rachel Perry of Dolphin.
Melissa
In
Hilton
lane-
from Vesper, right there with her, though.
Lane 3, Vesper. Lane 2, Greenwich. And lane 1, Chinook.
Carrie Main from Riverside. As they cross through, that slight advantage for Dolphins, Rachel Perry. But Melissa Hilton, Vesper, just a half a boat length behind. Then Katie DeLuca of Greenwich, Angela Moken of Chinook, and Carrie Main of Riverside in that order through 750. But out front, Rachel Perry and Melissa Hilton going head-to-head here in the C category.
That's Rachel Perry we're looking at from Dolphin in lane 4.
But there's the lane 3 bow. Melissa Hilton coming down to the finish line. Both these athletes looking very sure of themselves as they come to the finish line. Saw an exciting finish in the men's single. See a glance from Rachel Perry of Dolphin over towards Melissa Hilton. Melissa Hilton looks like she has the speed as it comes to the line. Wow, maybe 6 inches. Rachel Perry from Dolphin, Melissa Hilton from Vesper, 1-2 it appeared. Katie DeLuca of Greenwich in 3rd. Angela Moken from Chinook in 4th, and Carrie Main from Riverside in 5th. But boy, what a big push there. Just another weedy, and it may have been bow ball to bow ball. And it may, we are unofficially calling these finishes.
Yeah, that was really amazing because Rachel Perry had a really good stroke rate in Dolphin, but Melissa Hilton in Vesper was catching on her with a slower stroke rate. And on one more stroke, and I think she would have been ahead of her.
Thanks again to our presenting partner, live stream partner of U.S. Rowing, Vespoli, bringing you this action live on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel as we see the next final all the way down about 650 meters right now. It's the men's open doubles in the E category. Vanderheide and Wilsollen from Cascadia, Horney and Tata from Mary Meeting, Gates and McDonough from Texas Center, Faber and Lesnow from Detroit Composite, McDonough and Bukowski from Chaos, and Forgeron and Shadowway unaffiliated composite in lane 6. And as they pass 750, we're seeing that boat from Texas Center of Gates and McDonough out in the lead.
And Chaos in lane 5 and 2nd.
Then hard to call 3rd because those 3 boats right there across. It's going to be a battle for the bronze, it looks like, between Mary Mead and Cascadia, the unaffiliated boat, and Detroit Composite. They are very close together in those boats with a slight advantage, I would say, right now to the Detroit Composite boat. With Texas Center out in front, Chaos in second, and Detroit Composite in 3rd at this point. But we've seen a lot of changes in this final portion of the race as Texas begins to push harder towards the line. Chaos tries to respond. They're picking up their bow, their stroke. As you can see, their bow bob. Detroit Composite of Faber and Lesnow sticking their bow into the mix, but it is Texas Center's Gates and McDonough crossing first. Then McDonough and Bukowski from Chaos. Whoa.
In lane 1, we had very close competition between lane 1 and lane 4. They were closing very close. It became very hard to tell which bow ball was crossing the finish. That might be a photo finish for the
Vanderheide and
bronze.
Wilsollen from Cascadia and Faber and Lesnow from Detroit. It looked like Detroit may have kind of bobbled there right at the end and given Cascadia that last weedy that time, as we saw. And then Forgeron and Chataway, the unaffiliated boat in the men's double, crossing the line.
Once again, just goes to show how critical that last 100 meters of the race is. No mistakes. It's an opportunity to make ground, but it's also an opportunity to lose ground as well.
As we wait for the 8s in the Women's Open E category to start, we'll take a quick break and a word from a couple of our sponsors here at the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. The U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Live streaming on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel. I'm Mark Purcell here with Rob Shea. The first of the big boats of the day coming down the course in the women's Open 8 E category.
In lane 1, Masters Coaching. In lane 2, Annapolis. In lane 3, Carnegie Lake. Lane 4, Vesper. Lane 5, Chinook. And in lane 6, North Suburban. Lane 5, Chinook currently in the lead early on in this contest.
Wow, look at this shot from overhead. Carnegie Lake right now in second place with a Annapolis composite, the Masters Coaching composite, and Chinook, North Suburban, all right there sticking close as they are through the first 250 heading towards the 500. That boat from Chinook, we've seen so often that blue of Chinook out in front early in the race and still in the lead at the finish too.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in the heats today. A lot of Chinook boats out in front performing really well, even some Chinook on Chinook competitions. So they've done quite well in this regatta.
All is fair in love and rowing when it comes to the Masters National Championships. They may be your colleagues in practice, but get out here for a final for the gold medal, and it's all on the line right now. Carnegie Lake giving Chinook a run for their money, but still about a 4-seat advantage for Chinook right now. Third, difficult to call. Looks like the Masters Coaching composite will have it, but right there behind them, the Annapolis composite and the Vesper composite.
Now past the 500-meter mark. Chinook continues to extend its lead in lane 5. And we start to see a little bit of separation. Determine who's going to come out ahead for third.
Carnegie Lake coxswain glancing to check out the competition. She has a good view of Chinook since they are ahead with an open water lead, but just a little bit of an open water lead. Passing 750, Chinook in the lead, Carnegie in second. It now appears that the North Suburban boat has caught up with the pack, so it's very tight together. With Chinook, Carnegie Lake, Vesper composite in between them in third right now, but on the move is the Annapolis composite, as is North Suburban and the Masters Coaching composite.
Now about 200 meters left in the race. With one of these big eights, this is the time to make your move.
Chinook really extending their lead right now in lane 5. Carnegie Lake still firmly holding on to second place, trying to catch up with Chinook, but running out of water. Chinook looks very strong. Just look at that symmetry in the stroke, catch, release, and recovery. Very nice as Chinook crosses the line for the gold in the Women's Open 8's E category. It will be Carnegie Lake in second, and here a big charge from Annapolis Composite. They get the bronze. It's Vesper Composite right behind them with the Masters Coaching Composite not far behind, followed by the North Suburban boat. And that was some big movement there in the second half, as we have seen so often here, Rob.
Yeah, that was anybody's race to medal, and very impressive to see how the field played out as we approach the final 250 meters.
We'll see if we can see some movement again here in the G category for the men's singles. This is the 65 to 69 age range. Mike Verlin from GMS is in lane 1. Daniel Schley from Saugatuck in lane 2. Rockford's Richard Anderson in lane 3. James Dietz, All-American Camp in lane 4. Lane 5 is Charles Kane Jr. from Union. And David Frick from Los Angeles is in lane 6. And they are relatively tightly bunched when it comes to singles here at the halfway point, with Richard Anderson from Rockford and David Frick from Los Angeles. He is lurking in the outside lane there in lane 6.
Rick Anderson in lane 3, Daniel Schley in lane 2, fighting it out.
That's back to James Dietz from All-American Camp, Charles Kane Jr. from Union, and Michael Verlin from GMS.
Now as we cross over from the white buoys.
Oh, a big push from Richard Anderson to Rockford there, Rob, right before the 750.
Rick really dominated the earlier heat today, and it looks like he wants to extend that into a gold in the finals.
Daniel Schley from Saugatuck glancing to his left, seeing what's happening. He's moving along with Richard Anderson from Rockford right now. David Frick from Los Angeles not being left behind, holding on and still in contact with those front boats. But yes, Anderson from Rockford just putting it all on the water. That's David Frick from Los Angeles on your screen there, currently in third. They head to the finish line, but now we see that bow of Richard Anderson from Rockford winning the gold in the men's open singles G category. Crossing the line, and it is David Frick from Los Angeles who made up some ground on Daniel Schley of Saugatuck. The Saugatuck boat will get the bronze here in the men's open singles, but Richard Anderson, very impressive row there. James Dietz, All-American cam, and then very close between Charles Kane Jr. and Mike Verlin from Union and GMS, respectively.
When talking about Rick Anderson, I'm contractually obliged to say local rowing legend, and I'm glad to see that he lived up to the title in this event.
I wondered how you knew he was named Rick, so I guess his reputation precedes him as it goes along. So the women's lightweight four is next here, Rob.
In this event, in Lane 1, Minneapolis. Lane 2, CRI. In Lane 3, Avalon Composite. In Lane 4, North Suburban Composite. In Lane 5, Three Rivers. And in Lane 6, Chinook. Early up to the 250 marker, Chinook in Lane 6 in the lead, followed by CRI in Lane 2.
Plenty of fours to watch the fun fours on the water here at the Masters National Championships.
This is a lightweight category, meaning that all the rowers have to weigh in at the start of the day and meet a weight classification in order to qualify for this event. As a D category, the average age of the boat needs to be 50 to 54 or greater. Older ages are allowed to enter, and in fact we have rowers shells from categories E and F in this race as well, this D category women's lightweight 4.
Chinook again, that familiar blue sticking out on the course in first.
Open water between Chinook and Three Rivers in Lane 5.
Three Rivers in second right now, a battle for third, but CRI appears to have third place for the moment. But North Suburban Composite right there with them, very, very close to call. You can see just a bit of an advantage from the drone shot here for that boat from Three Rivers, but that CRI boat, for that North Suburban Composite, but that CRI boat right there with them. And as they hit 750, Chinook, 2 boat lengths of open water over the second place boat of Three Rivers. And now advantage to that North Suburban Composite over CRI. CRI in fourth right now.
Chinook cruising ahead in Lane 6, looking to maintain that pace, take the gold.
Minneapolis. And then the Avalon Composite boat just passing through 750 right now. But Chinook really again, as my old coach used to say, putting on a clinic. Putting on a clinic here in the women's lightweight fours in the D category. Grabbing the gold by 4 or 5 boat lengths over the second place boat of Three Rivers. Three Rivers for the silver there. And a nice row from that North Suburban Composite. But watch out, because here comes CRI right at the line. Ooh, CRI making up about 3 feet in the last 2 strokes, but not enough to grab the bronze away from the North Suburban Composite. Then it's Minneapolis and the boat from Avalon, the Avalon Composite boat, crossing the line here on the Grand River in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Look at that water, Rob. Just a gorgeous sight. Downtown Grand Rapids there. And the if I've been learning my localities pretty well, the Ann Street Bridge there.
That's correct. That is correct. The Ann Street Bridge.
Vespoli is our presenting sponsor this afternoon. Vespoli proudly builds all of their state-of-the-art rowing shells in their modern manufacturing facility located right here in the USA. And each shell meticulously crafted by their experienced and dedicated team of American craftsmen and women. Vespoli provides customers with the finest quality racing shells from single sculls to 8s, and every shell backed by a 5-year bow-to-stern warranty. Check out Vespoli.com to see all their offerings, including oars, boat slings, and tools.
And now the Men's Club 4 in the G Plus category, currently in the lead in Lane 3, Minneapolis, followed by Three Rivers in Lane 4, Saugatuck in Lane 5. Over in Lane 1, it's Capital, Lane 2, Texas, and in Lane 6, Indianapolis. As we are into the third quarter of the race.
Minneapolis and another Three Rivers boat battling there. We saw that battle happening in the last race in the women's lightweight fours. Here in the club fours, Three Rivers right there in the front with Minneapolis as they go back and forth between 500 and 750. And right now they are even as they come to the 750, but Minneapolis with a little bit of an advantage, but we're talking 3 feet from our angle right now. Maybe a seat, 2 seats. Advantage for Minneapolis over Three Rivers, but Three Rivers right there with them. Saugatuck right behind that. Indianapolis is crossing the line in 4th. Texas Rowing Center after them.
Minneapolis upping the stroke rate to stay ahead of Three Rivers. Three Rivers pretty happy with their stroke rate up to this point. Now closing in on 100 meters remaining.
Capital moving forward against the Texas Rowing Center. Indianapolis trying to chase them down. But out front, Minneapolis and Three Rivers battling it out. Minneapolis with the advantage and now beginning to pull. Still that 2 seat. It's really Three Rivers in about the same position in the last 250 with Minneapolis for the gold, Three Rivers for the silver in the men's club G2K fours. Then Saugatuck will grab a bronze. With Capital and Texas Rowing side by side. Capital, though, crossing first. Then Texas Rowing Center and Indianapolis in the men's club fours, G2K.
Already charging down the course now past the midway point is the women's lightweight quad in the A to C category. In Lane 2, Lincoln Park. In Lane 3, Georgian Bay. In Lane 4, Greater Houston Composite. And in Lane 5, Minneapolis B.
And it is that Greater Houston Composite right now that is in the lead. But hot on their tail is the Georgian Bay boat. Well, I should say the Lincoln Park boat as well, because they are really on the move right now and walking up on the Georgian Bay boat, approaching 750. Minneapolis about a boat length behind, but the Greater Houston Composite in the lead. But I don't know. These boats are really moving. That Georgian Bay boat's on the move, as is the Lincoln Park boat. Georgian Bay and Lincoln Park easing up. Georgian Bay beginning to walk past the Greater Houston Composite here, moving through 750. Lincoln Park moving with them as well, and Lincoln Park has really just picked up the pace, and we can see that this will be a heck of a finish as they come streaking down the way. Greater Houston seeing the charge, trying to respond, but it looks like Georgian Bay's out front right now with Lincoln Park in second, and Houston now slipped to third in just 70 meters.
Georgian Bay really putting the pressure on, trying to stay in the lead. See the intensity increase in that last 100 meters. Trying to maintain that edge to the finish.
Lincoln Park really moving too. They have now caught up and at least even with Houston. And as they come to the line, Georgian Bay with that charge, crossing first. Oh, a big push from Lincoln Park. It looks like they may have gotten second over that Greater Houston composite. Too tight to call. We'll have to let the U.S. rowing refs figure that one out. Then Minneapolis in the women's lightweight quads A to C final. What a race there, and we saw those drag racers.
That was
really
amazing. From the
peeling
finish
out.
line, it certainly looked like Lincoln Park made up that distance. We'll have to see for sure in the final results, but quite a finish.
Now to the straight fours in the men's open straight fours, AA, San Diego, Riverfront Recapture, and Austin duking it out. 3 boats on the course at the 500-meter mark, with Riverfront Recapture with the advantage at 500 meters. It's San Diego in lane 2, Riverfront Recapture in lane 3, and Austin in lane 4.
We saw some challenges earlier today in the heats with the straight fours being able to stay in their lanes, but it looks like we're not seeing any of those difficulties now in this final.
Not much of a breeze. You can feel the 90 degrees out here for sure, but it's a cool Michigan 90 degrees, not that intolerable at all. Very comfortable here on the banks of the Grand River. I'm Mark Purcell with Rob Shea, live streaming the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships and watching some fantastic finishes. Plenty still to come as we are looking down on the men's open fours, straight fours, the AA category, and what a battle shaping up here between Riverfront Recapture and Austin as they come down. The course at the 750-meter mark, 3 feet is all Riverfront Recapture has on that boat from Austin as they are streaking down the course here.
The straight four features 4 sweep rowers and no coxswain. So that means in addition to doing all of the rowing, the rowers themselves have to be in charge of steering, making sure they're staying in their lane, and calling the boats. We're starting to see a little bit of lane drift there from Riverfront, like I talked about earlier. So still a challenge keeping that lane without a coxswain.
And again, you can switch lanes. You can go in any lane you want, long as you're not interfering with any of the competition when you are rowing in a regatta like this. But remember, as you learned as a kindergarten nerd, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So the straighter you can go coming down to the line. Wow.
That was an impressive recovery from Riverfront Recapture, and that earlier swerve to make it to the finish and close the gap and potentially get the gold in a photo finish.
Austin took advantage of that little swerve from Riverfront Recapture and had gone ahead, but big pulls there at the end and very, very tight as they were trying to get to that point. We watched the boat from San Diego cross the
looks
line.
like they may have had some challenges and kind of slowed up at the end there.
We'll be back with more finals on the Saturday afternoon from Grand Rapids, Michigan after a word from our sponsors here on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel. And we're back here on the banks of the Grand River in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. I'm Mark Purcell with Rob Shea as we are watching another straight four final coming down the course.
Exactly. So here we go. In lane 1, Riverfront Recapture B. In lane 2, CRI. Lane 3, Lincoln Park. In lane 4, Indianapolis. In lane 5, Texas Rowing Center. And in lane 6, Nashville.
These are the A category. That is the 27 to 35 age group for the straight fours. Again, like the race we just saw, there is not a coxswain steering and coaxing the rowers. These are fours, sweep boats, with just the 4 rowers, not that 5th body.
Yeah, and unlike the last event, which only had 3 lanes, we've got all 6 lanes going in this event. So a misstep in your lane could have a more dramatic impact in this event.
Again, you can be anywhere on the water on between the start line and the finish line, but you cannot interfere with any of the other competitors. So if you're far enough out in front, I guess you could do a zigzag if you wanted to, but who wants to? Because you're working hard out there.
Exactly.
Coming down that 1,000 meters, you don't want it to be any longer than you have to.
Yeah, sometimes if there's interference within the first 50 or 100 meters, we might see a restart, but once you're past that point, the race is on, and an interference could be very costly.
As we watch this race coming down the way, we see Riverfront Recapture's B boat out in front by about a boat length. Between them, it's Lincoln Park and Nashville fighting for second right now, with Lincoln Park half a boat length advantage right now. Then crossing the line, it's Indianapolis in fourth. The CRI boat in fifth, and the Texas Center boat would be in sixth. By this, we can see that the Texas Center seems to be very careful in their rowing. But out front, Riverfront Recapture really making a move and strongly stroking towards that gold medal. Lincoln Park still in second, with that boat from Nashville trying to track them down. Nashville in the blue and yellow. But here in lane one, coming across the line, looking for their gold medal, it's Riverfront Recapture's B boat. Will be Lincoln Park in second, Nashville in third in the men's open 4 without a category. Indianapolis in fourth.
And we're definitely seeing some challenges with the Texas boat in lane 5.
CRI in fifth, and then the Texas Center boat.
And they just had a bit of a crab, and now they've restarted and are approaching the finish.
For non-rowers, a crab meaning your oar will catch the water either coming out or going in a little awkwardly, and when you have 3 other people in the boat pulling hard, that oar can get caught and slammed against the side of the boat and make the boat a bit unstable. And there, trust me, I've tried. No way you can get that out while someone else is rowing. So everyone has to usually stop. You have to slow down and recover that oar. And if you only have 3 rowers, that's one thing. But when you have 7 other rowers,
exactly,
well,
we've seen some amazing recoveries of a crab in an 8. You have a lot more power to overcome it, but in a 4, it's a little more challenging.
Speaking of 8s, the mixed 8s in the A category on the water right now. 6 boats across. Ann Arbor Rowing Club in lane 1. In lane 2, it's Genesee. Lane 3, Lincoln Park. Greater Columbus is in lane 4. San Diego in lane 5. And in lane 6, it's Western Reserve. Greater Columbus with an early lead as these boats are shooting out of the start. And second place hard to call right now between Genesee, Greater Lincoln Park, and San Diego. But definitely it was Greater Columbus with a bit of an advantage. Western Reserve not far behind. Ann Arbor about a boat length off. Talked about the mixed boats again, an even mix of rowers, male and female. So in an 8, 4, and 4 out there rowing right now.
Now passing the midway point of the race, 500 meters in this 1,000 meter course.
Just amazing to see these boats, Rob, when you're looking across 54 athletes out there.
Starting to get a little separation now. Greater Columbus in lane 4, San Diego in lane 5.
San Diego boats, I've noticed real big in the second half of the race, so Columbus will have to watch out. In the meantime, Genesee shaping up and not looking bad either, as they in lane 2 are right there with them, as is the Lincoln Park boat that you almost can't see because they're side by side with Genesee. But coming through 750, 3/4 of the way through the race, it is Columbus out in front by a half a boat length, maybe 6 seats over that boat from San Diego. Then it's Genesee, Lincoln Park, 3 and 4. Columbus can maintain, it'll be a fight for the silver here. The mixed eights, A category. The younger boats really showing some speed. Greater Columbus picking up the pace as they begin to fly. They're really outpacing San Diego. San Diego trying to respond, but it's Greater Columbus pulling away as they come down to the last few dozen meters of the race. Oh, big push here too from Genesee, but I think San Diego eased by them, so it's San Diego for the silver, Genesee for the bronze. It looks like Western Reserve crossed right there before Lincoln Park. A good show from Western Reserve as well. Wow. Great racing in the mixed eights in the A category, with Greater Columbus really dominating from the start, out fast, staying fast, and grabbing the gold. Well, we had 54 athletes racing in that last race. Right now, we're down to 36 athletes with just 4 boats in the men's Open 8s B category.
Here out in the lead now is Everett Association Composite in lane 2, along with Greenwich, the Green of Greenwich in lane 4. On the left side is DC Strokes in 5, and in lane 1, Riverfront Recapture as they cross the 500-meter mark.
Oh, yeah, Greenwich looked like it was on the move, trying to catch up with Everett Association Composite. Everett out with a bit of an advantage. DC Strokes on the outside trying to keep up, but just a few seats now separating Everett Association and the boat from Greenwich. Then really a battle between DC Strokes and Riverfront Recapture as they come down, but Riverfront Recapture trying to move forward. Still that Everett Association boat composite out in front by about 4 seats, approaching the 750, but Greenwich is right there with them. We can see that there might be a wicked sprint to the finish, but it looks like Everett continues just to move forward and pass the boat from Greenwich.
Everett's pulling ahead.
Meantime, DC Strokes moving up on the boat from Greenwich, as is the Riverfront Recapture boat. So a battle for third place beginning to develop.
Now some open water forming between Everett in lane 3 and Greenwich in lane 4. Everett looking to secure their gold in the men's Open 8 in the B category.
They are really looking fine. They have the entire time looked very strong in that Everett Association Composite boat, and they're in lane 3, cross the finish line and win the men's Open 8s in the B category. Greenwich will be in second with DC Strokes in third, and Riverfront Recapture not that far behind.
Very
in
close
fourth
on Riverfront Recapture there.
Great moves there. You're watching live coverage on live streaming on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel of the 2019 Masters National Championships from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm Mark Purcell, sharing the microphone here with Rob Shea as we are watching some fantastic finals, some freakishly close finals coming down to the wire here on the Grand River. Great to see that competition being as close as it is with all these boats. We'll have a quads race racing right now, then some men's 4s. The quads race, the women's Open Quads B category with Genesee in lane 1, Lookout lane 2, Chinook lane 3, Lincoln Park lane 4, Minneapolis lane 5, and Vesper lane 6. So 6 boats, 6 quads coming down. The green of Minneapolis there, and the V's of Vesper very visible as they approach the 500-meter mark.
Still quite close early in the race.
The Masters sprint races, unlike the youth, the Masters sprint races are 1,000 meters. The youths and college are usually 2,000 meters. Little bit of a different race strategy racing 1,000, but you use just as much energy. Every major muscle group and every ounce of energy you have when you're racing competitively here down this 1,000-meter course. We are looking at the women's open quads final.
That's Lookout in lane 2, along with Lincoln Park in lane 4. Vesper in lane 6.
Chinook in lane 3. They're really all there together. But Vesper and Lookout doing battle. They're very even coming through, but look at Lookout move. Little bit of movement there in the Chinook boat in lane 3. They had to make a course correction, but Lookout pulling past the boat from Vesper there at 750 meters. In the meantime, Lincoln Park and Chinook battling in between them. Minneapolis right behind and still in contact with them.
Lookout in the lead.
Lookout in the lead. And
Lincoln Park, followed by Vesper in lane 6.
See Vesper glance, take in the competition, pick up the pace. Trying to catch up with Lookout. Lookout with a big move right before 750. Out in front, now it's Lincoln Park in lane 4 on the move too. Coming down to the finish line, Lincoln Park and Lookout drag racing to the line. And it is Lookout winning by half a boat length over Lincoln Park. Very tight for third there, though, between Vesper and Chinook. Then Minneapolis. And the boat from Genesee.
Too close to call for the bronze.
You know, I realize we don't have the time to go back and check the results. I'm going to have to start noting which of these races are close so I can go back and look at that photo finish and see just how close they are. Of course, you can keep track of the schedule and the results at herenow.com for the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. Half the oars, twice the fun. The men's open fours D category final up next.
In lane 1, CRI. In lane 2, Lake Lure Racing. In lane 3, Don. Lane 4, Ann Arbor. In lane 5, Chinook. And in lane 6, Riverfront Recapture.
We saw that bright green of Lake Lure out in the lead in an earlier final. Lake Lure out near the front in this final for the men's open fours D category, the 50 to 54 age group.
Back to a series of 4 and 8 events with coxswains, so we should see a better lane alignment in these events.
A little bit of cloud cover has dropped the temperature a few degrees, now 86 here in Grand Rapids. Very comfortable summer afternoon to watch these Master National Championships. No dog days here, only the dogs in the crowd. The boat from Dawn and Lake Lure Racing, along with Riverfront Recapture and the familiar blue of Chinook out there, then Ann Arbor and CRI. Beginning to spread out, Riverfront Recapture pouring it on.
That's Don in lane 3.
So Riverfront Recapture, Chinook and Dawn battling for second. In between them, it's the boat from Ann Arbor, then Lake Lure and CRI in that order. Riverfront Recapture almost a boat length out there. Hard to call second at 750 between the blue of Chinook and the blue of Dawn. Then Ann Arbor sticking to their sterns, at Lake Lure right there with Ann Arbor too.
Followed by CRI in lane 1.
Dawn Rowing Club in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. 15 entries. Some of our neighbors to the north racing here in the Masters National Championships. But Riverfront Recapture rowing hard. Looking like they will grab the gold here in this final for the men's Open Fours D category.
Kicking on the power, trying to maintain their lead. Don't let anybody catch them, but
it is Riverfront Recapture moving up and into second place is Dawn, then followed by Chinook and Ann Arbor. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's Lake Lure in lane 2. Followed by CRI in lane 1.
From Grand Rapids, Michigan, the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. We'll be back here in just a moment after a word from our sponsors. Gutsy, a healthy gut means a healthy body and mind. Gutsy Organic brings you your daily dose of delicious plant-based prebiotic foods that nourish the good bacteria naturally present in your gut. Go for your dreams and never give up. Be Gutsy. Learn more at gutsyorganic.com and at gutsyorganic on Instagram.
Heading down the course now is the Women's Club 4 in the D category. In lane 1, Greenwich. In lane 2, Narragansett. In lane 3, Capital. In lane 4, East Arm. Lane 5, Baltimore. And in lane 6, Alexandria. Lineup just popped up for us on herenow.com for this event. And heading down the course, in lane 6, it's Alexandria, followed by East Arm in lane 4 and Capital in lane 3. In lane 2, it's Narragansett. Lane 5, Baltimore, and in lane 1, Greenwich. Now approaching the 500-meter mark, the midpoint of this 1,000-meter race.
Alexandria in lane 6, East Arm in lane 4, glancing back and forth at each other, out in the lead at 500. Capital right there with them, as is Narragansett. Greenwich and Baltimore slightly off the pace through 500, but it is Capital, East Arm, and Alexandria doing battle in the front for the spots on the podium. We can just see that boat from Capital working hard and really pulling, as is East Arm. East Arm is now catching up with Alexandria. Alexandria out in the lead at the 500-meter mark, but it is Capital that is on the move right now.
Now passing into the final 250 meters of the race.
And it really still is Capital on the move. East Arm right there with them, and Alexandria not far behind. A big move for Capital. Moving through about 650, they began to pour it on, kicked it into overdrive, and they are now out in the front with East Arm and Alexandria pursuing. Quite a move for Capital. A nice showing in their rowing. Alexandria kicking it up a notch. Looks like they have caught up with East Arm again. They're coming down to it, but it looks like Capital, if they can hold on, will prevail. Little bit of a hitch in their giddy up there right before the line, but it is Capital in first. Alexandria in second. East Arm in third. Narragansett pursuing, but having to settle for fourth, with Baltimore in fifth. And Greenwich in sixth in the Women's Club 4's D category final.
Already charging down the course now is the Men's Open 4 in the F category. In lane 1, Detroit. In lane 2, Chinook. In lane 3, Palm Beach Composite. In lane 4, Chinook B. Lane 5, Boulder. And in lane 6, New Haven.
Thanks again to our presenting sponsor, Vespoli, presenting the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships from Grand Rapids on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel on this Saturday afternoon.
The F category in this race is for an average age of 60 to 64. That's the average age of all of the rowers, not including the coxswain. We have 5 shells in the F category and a single shell in the G category. So
2 Chinook shells and Palm Beach Composite out in front, 1, 2, 3 right now. It looks like the Palm Beach Composite has gained a little ground. The Chinook B boat in lane 4 was out in front at the 500, but Palm Beach Composite began to pour it on. Meantime, Chinook A on the other side of the Palm Beach boat began to move forward as well and challenge, but Palm Beach out. Now the Chinook B boat beginning to respond. They're in lane 4 with the fastest qualifying time as they came across. Then it's New Haven, Boulder, and Detroit in that order. We'll see how they look when they come across the 750 here, Rob. Chinook now up front by about 4 feet. Chinook B ahead of the Palm Beach Composite. The Chinook A boat in third with New Haven on the charge. Then it's Boulder and Detroit in that order at 750. I think Palm Beach and the Chinook B boat are really going to be doing battle all the way down the stretch. I could see a glance from the coxswain in the Palm Beach Composite boat glancing over at the coxswain in the Chinook B boat as they began their sprint. And I am sure there is some coaxing from the cox happening right now.
We're also
and
looking
they're responding too.
A battle for the bronze between Chinook and New Haven in lanes 2 and 5.
But boy, what a push from Palm Beach. After that glance, they really turned it up and they win the gold in the men's open fours F category. Chinook B in second, Chinook A in third, New Haven in fourth. Then Boulder and Detroit crossing the lines in the men's open four. That's in the FH group, and boy, that was some fierce competing. Now to the eights in the women's club eights in the E category. Catawba in lane 1, Atlanta lane 2, Saugatuck in lane 3. In lane 4, it's East Bay. In lane 5, it's Rock Creek. And in lane 6, it's North Suburban Crew. We'll have a couple of women's eights here. This is the E category. We'll have F plus coming up in just a moment. But boy, this looks like this will be a fun race as we've been watching some incredible rowing, especially in that last 75 meters or so before the finish line. A lot of movement, a lot of things coming down. It was very, very fun to see these things happen. Rowers is the performance analysis tool of choice for highly ambitious rowing coaches and crews, including the Australian under-23 team. Empower your team to train at the right intensity levels to prevent injury and illness. Track ratings of perceived effort, heart rate, speed, and training load. Rowers also offers simplified team and training management so you can plan and communicate in a single platform, allowing you to spend more time on coaching. Head to rowersapp.com to get your demo and trial today.
North Suburban Crew in lane 6 and East Bay in lane 4 battling for first, with Atlanta in lane 2 and third.
The low light of the late afternoon beginning to shine here and really make the colors pop in the Grand River. Lovely sights to see. Battle in the middle. Atlanta, Saugatuck, East Bay. Don't know if they see in that outside lane that North Suburban Composite sneaking along.
Looks like East Bay in lane 4 starting to move up on North Suburban Crew in lane 6. Watch watching these eights battle side by side, one of the most impressive sights in rowing. Just a 3-seat edge with North Suburban Crew in lane 6.
Over East Bay, then Atlanta in third right now, but Atlanta being challenged by Saugatuck.
We have Rock Creek in lane 5 and Catawba in lane 1.
Boat from Catawba hailing from North Carolina, one of the many rowing clubs around the Charlotte, North Carolina area. But out in front, Northern Suburban Crew, East Bay, and Atlanta all going for the gold in the women's Club 8's E category. East Bay and North Suburban Crew. North Suburban Crew, crew in lane 6, has been working hard, and they will win by about 7 seats over East Bay. Atlanta will come in third, closely followed by Saugatuck. Just about 6 seats, an advantage there. Then Rock Creek and Catawba in that order. What a race in the women's Club 8's E category final.
Now heading down the course is our next event, the Women's Club 8 in the F Plus category. In lane 1, Minneapolis F. In lane 2, Conabear. In lane 3, Rocket City. In lane 4, Texas B. In lane 5, Saugatuck B. And in lane 6, Vesper.
You know, a lot of times the B and other letters following a boat are usually how they're ranked within a team. In the Masters, it's a little less stringent as it is on the college or youth level. But still, to have bragging rights to be in the B boat,
that's
the
right,
supposedly second best boat, and be in the final when your A boat isn't.
Exactly. We saw some fierce battles in the heats between the A and B boats, and I think there's a lot of bragging rights. Nobody wants to ride home or fly home on the trip knowing that the A boat got beat out by the B boat. They're not going to let you forget that one for a long time.
Through 500, and these 8s are a little more spread out than the last race was.
Lane 2, Conabear out in front, and then lane 6, Vesper. Seeing
Conabear really
glare
moving
on the water now as the sun begins to drop.
Minneapolis, Rocket City, and Vesper boats really doing battle. Kind of hidden in between them is the Texas Center boat. As they come to the 750, it is Conabear in the lead over Vesper. Minneapolis in third right now, Rocket City in fourth. The Saugatuck B boat, Texas Center, then Saugatuck B in that order. But boy, Conabear really making a move between 500 and 750. Now a boat length out and up over Vesper. Minneapolis, though, beginning to row hard. They may catch up with Vesper, too, if you're not careful. Rocket City lighting their engine right now.
Minneapolis picking up the stroke rate in lane 1.
Conabear with a big move in the third quarter of the race, pulling out and away from that pursuing boat from Vesper. And as they come to the line in the women's Club 8s, the F Plus category, at 60 and above, as they stroke across the line for the gold, they have an open water lead. It will be the Vesper boat in second. Minneapolis trying to catch them up, but Minneapolis will have to settle for third. Then it's Rocket City, Texas Center, and the Saugatuck B-Boat, and the Women's Club 8s. Beautiful day, fantastic racing here in the finals on this Saturday for the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championship. We'll return here on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel in just a moment after this break. Welcome back to live streaming coverage on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel of the 2019 Masters National Championships. This year in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm Mark Purcell with Rob Shea, calling the finals races for the Saturday afternoon, the third of 4 days of competition. And we have been seeing some incredible finals right now. And we are glad to have you along as we join with the men's open singles in the H category.
In lane 1, Michael Tabay of Greenwich. In lane 2, Michael Morschauser of Dallas. In lane 3, Terrence Conway, Lincoln Park. In lane 4, James Dietz, All-American Camp. In lane 5, Leonard Anderson of Dallas. And in lane 6, Patrick Walsh, San Diego.
It is Dietz from the All-American Camp out in the lead, a substantial lead here, just past the halfway mark. He is being chased down by Leonard Anderson of Dallas, but it is Dietz well in the lead with about 10 feet of open water between his stern and the bow of the Dallas boat. Then it is back in third place to Lincoln Park's Terrace Conway.
This H category event features rowers aged 70 to 74.
We have Michael Tabay from Greenwich and Michael Morschauser from Dallas in fourth and fifth, and Patrick Walsh of San Diego. But James Dietz very much making his presence known here in this open single H category final with a big lead in the second half. A big lead that he developed going through even the halfway point of the race. Looking very strong. I'm hoping when I'm that age I will look as strong as James Dietz does when rowing my single. But what a performance there from James Dietz for the All-American Club, All-American Camp. Based in DeLand, Florida, coached by Jim Dietz. He's rowed in 6 Olympics since 1972, coaches at UMass, and showing his rowers how to get it done.
In second, Leonard Anderson of Dallas. And in third, Terrence Conway of Lincoln Park.
A nice fast finish for Terrence Conway. And we have Patrick Walsh of San Diego crossing the line. Back to some zooming doubles for the men's, or pairs, excuse me, on the men's open pairs C category final. Galvanek and Herring from Sarasota in lane 1. Lane 2, Lewandowski and Pierce from Minneapolis. Meiske and Forrest from Texas Center in lane 3. In lane 4, Woody and Pullman from Greenwich. Ingleton and Wink from Georgian Bay in lane 5. And Johnson and Carlson from Three Rivers in lane 6. In these pairs, with that lane 4 boat out in the lead, but right behind them is lane 6 and lane 3. So it is Woody and Pullman from Greenwich at 750 with a boat length of open water over Johnson and Carlson of Three Rivers, with Meiske and Forrest of Texas Center, who are in third right now. Ingleton and Wink of Georgian Bay, in second right now. Being pursued by Maiski and Forest of Texas Center.
In fourth, Sarasota in lane 1. In fifth, Minneapolis in lane 2. And rounding out the pack in lane 6 is Three Rivers. Our leaders in lanes 3, 4, and 5.
Maiski and Forest of Texas Center pouring it on, but it is Greenwich's Woody and Pullman winning the gold. Ingleton and Wink of Georgian Bay, followed by Maiski and Forest of Texas Center in the men's open pairs C category final.
In lane 1, that's Sarasota. In lane 2, Minneapolis. Followed by Three Rivers in lane 6.
We're sitting here on the banks of the Grand River. We can see both the launch and recovery docks, and since there was just an 8s race, it's pretty interesting to see this long line of boats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 8s lined up, stem to stern. That's quite a queue.
We get a little bit of backup when those big races end, and then it clears out.
We'd like to thank Vespoli for being today's presenting partner of the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships live streaming on the U.S. Rowing YouTube page. Please check out Vespoli.com to learn more about how they're advancing the sport of rowing across the country.
Now charging down the river, the first of 2 men's clubs 8s. The first is our A category. In lane 1, Chicago B. In lane 2, Texas. In lane 3, Chicago A. In lane 4, Genesee. In lane 5, Riverfront Recapture. And in lane 6, Lincoln Park. Chicago in lane 3 and Lincoln Park in lane 6 fighting for the lead, with Riverfront Recapture in 5. There we go. Lincoln Park in 6, followed by Riverfront Recapture in 5, then Chicago in lane 3, Texas in lane 2, Genesee in lane 4, and Chicago B in lane 1. Now crossing over from the white buoys of the 750 to the orange buoys of the final 250 meters of the race. A battle shaping up. In lanes 5 and 6 between Riverfront Recapture in lane 5, and in lane 6, Lincoln Park. Followed closely by Chicago in lane 3. In lane 1, Chicago B. In lane 4, Genesee. And in lane 2, Texas. Now heading up to the finish line.
What a battle.
Pitched battle in these men's 8s. It's Riverfront Recapture in lane 5, followed by Lincoln Park in lane 6. And in lane 4, Chicago. Or is that was 3? Lane 3, Chicago.
Big race for Riverfront Recapture. A lot of movement there in the final portion of that race. Nice to see that competition here at the Masters National Championships. You can take a breath, but just a quick one as we have another 8s race coming up. They are lining up for the men's Club 8s B category.
Just one age category older than the last race. The A category was 27 to 35, and the B category is 36 to 42. That's the average age of all the rowers.
So it appears there's a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a breeze. So before we continue our coverage, we'll go to another quick break to thank our sponsors here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. I'm Mark Brazell here with Rob Shea on the banks of the Grand River in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships, live streaming on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel. Flashing oars indicating our next final championship final is underway. The big boats again, the men's Club 8s in the B category.
In lane 1, Greater Columbus. Lane 2, DC Strokes. In lane 3, Western Reserve. In lane 4, Austin. Lane 5, Riverfront Recapture B. And in lane 6, San Diego.
Took a little bit of time to get lined up, but then you could see those 48 oars begin to flash in the low afternoon sunlight here on the Grand River, and you knew that final was underway as they come charging towards the halfway point. San Diego and Austin, along with Western Reserve. And Western Reserve in the lead by a couple of seats over Austin. San Diego right there with Austin. Then it's back to the Riverfront Recapture B boat and the DC Strokes boat, which are bow ball to bow ball at the halfway point. Greater Columbus slightly off the pace, but a big push there from Western Reserve to get out in front. But those California boats, the California boat and the Texas boat, are just right there trying to do some damage as they move through the third quarter of the race, and they are working fast and furious. It looks like that San Diego boat has begun to make up some ground and now maybe in the lead, and it looks like Austin may have pulled in front of Western Reserve as well. In the meantime, Riverfront Recapture trying to stick to their sterns as they pass through 750, but it is that boat from San Diego in the lead by 4 seats over Western Reserve, but Western Reserve only has about a foot over Austin right now, and Austin is charging. Riverfront Recapture followed by DC Strokes, then Greater Columbus. They'll line up at 750, but these 3 boats in the front are really flying, and they are beginning to even accelerate more. San Diego, Western Reserve, and Austin battling it out. San Diego through 750 had the lead. We'll see if they've extended their lead as they come down to the final 50 meters of the race. It's San Diego in the lead over Western Reserve and Austin. Western Reserve has come back and poured it on and is now in second over Austin as they come to the line. It is San Diego by 4 seats over Western Reserve, then Austin, followed by Riverfront Recapture. And what a fantastic finish there for the 8s. DC Strokes crossing next, then Greater Columbus. Back and forth there in that final quarter of the race, Rob.
Yeah, pouring it on once they hit those orange buoys. With all that back and forth action, Coxswain's looking over, trying to adjust position and give it all they got to close for the finish.
We have the mixed quads in the G category coming up next. Lineup is 612 Endurance in lane 1. Lane 2 is Saugatuck. Rockford Composite in lane 3. Lane 4 is a Malta Composite. Chinook B in lane 5, and another San Diego boat in lane 6 again. We'll see if lane 6 is as lucky for this San Diego boat as it was for the last San Diego boat.
Well, this will be interesting because the Rockford boat in lane 3 has Rick Anderson, who of course just won a gold medal just a few races ago. How did he have time to get in a quad?
He can swim fast, I guess. But yes, they must have been holding hot seating is what they call it in rowing when you go that quickly in between races, and that can be challenging to some degree. You might it might be considered that you would have a bit of an advantage because you're warmed up, but you just rode for a gold medal and you worked hard.
Right. The challenge is in an event like this is that the officials aren't going to hold up a race waiting for you to switch boats. So you've got to ensure that you've got enough time between events to get in and be ready at the starting line along with everyone else.
About 550 meters in, looks like a couple of ducks are making their way across the course. I think they're about in for a rude honking awakening as the boat from Malta and the boat from Rockford are moving right towards them. Boat from Chinook right there with them too.
Rockford in lane 3, Malta lane 4, Chinook lane 5 on your screen.
Lined up right across. It is an advantage for Rockford Composite right now with Rick Anderson there. It looks like in the stroke seat, leading his boat down. Malta Composite in second, Chinook in third, then over to 612 Endurance in fourth, Saugatuck in fifth, and San Diego in sixth. That's just about 650 in as they head towards 750. At Rockford Composite, as we're seeing, down into the boat, strong and smooth as they go by the drone and pass the 750 into the red buoys, indicating the final stretch of this 1,000-meter race. Rockford Composite in the lead, Malta Composite right behind him, Chinook chasing down both of those boats, and Chinook may have made up a little bit of ground on that Malta Composite, but out front it's Rockford.
Rockford. Anderson looking for his second gold medal today.
Second gold medal of the hour, I think is
yeah,
what
exactly.
it is.
Who knows what the next hour will bring. Now approaching the final few meters of the race.
Still looking strong and even looking like they're still pulling away. It's a Rockford Composite in lane 3, stroking to the gold in the mixed quads in the G age category. As they cross the line first, open water between their stern and the bow of the second place boat from Malta, the Malta Composite, followed by the Chinook B Composite. 1, 2, 3 right there. That's the medal stand. Then I couldn't see whether that was Saugatuck or 612 Endurance crossing the line there in fourth. One of those lanes close in. It must have been 612 Endurance. Here comes Saugatuck. And then San Diego in the mixed quads.
Already heading down the course now. In the next category up, the next age category, the H plus category, the mixed quads in the H plus. In lane 1, Chinook. In lane 2, Vesper. In lane 3, Colorado Rowing Composite. In lane 4, Potomac Composite. And in lane 5, Vesper Composite B.
Chinook out in the lead early. You can see that they have an advantage there. Of course, they do have an advantage, I can tell you, much as you know about Rick Anderson. I know about Elizabeth Bean, who is stroking that Chinook boat, won a gold at the Henley in England a month or so ago, stroking this Chinook quad here in the H plus category.
We have one shell in the H category, which is the low 70s. We have 3 shells in the I category, which is the upper 70s. And we have a shell with an average age of 80 in the J category, competing in this mixed quad H plus event.
It is Chinook continuing to lead. Open water over the second place boat. Looks like the Potomac Composite boat. Then it looks like the Vesper Composite. Sort of spread out as we watch them come by. And first to the 750 is the Chinook boat, stroked by Libby Bean. Crossing across the 750 with an open water lead over the second place boat from Potomac, the Potomac Composite boat. Third across the 750 line is Vesper Composite, followed by the Colorado Rowing Composite. And then the Vesper Composite B boat, now stroking and hitting the 750 mark. The mixed quads, the H plus category in the final here. And it is the Chinook boat In lane 1, crossing for the gold, Libby Bean with another gold medal to add to that Henley gold. Then the Potomac Composite crossing, followed by the Vesper Composite A being chased by Colorado Rowing's Composite. But the Vesper Composite will cross the line in 3rd, Colorado in 4th, and the Vesper Composite B boat with an average age in the J category in 5th in the mixed quads H plus final.
You know, we had a celebration a little earlier of our octogenarian rowers in the J category, and it was fantastic to see them all get together and celebrate the contribution that they make to the sport.
I understood some IDs were asked for because some of them look so good. So we'll have to see. Here we are with the women's lightweight 4 in the B category final coming down the course right now. Actually through 500 and approaching 750. Greater Houston Composite in lane 2, Minneapolis lane 3, Western Reserve Composite in lane 4. The women's lightweight 4s in the B category final. And it is an advantage for that Western Reserve Composite, but all these boats are only about a half a boat length apart, and it looks like that Greater Houston Composite is beginning to make up some ground on that Western Reserve. In the meantime, Minneapolis between the two, right there with them, and only about a third of a boat length behind as they go into the final quarter of the race. It is Western Reserve trying to fight off the Greater Houston Composite, which is really on the move, and they have pulled out in front.
That's Greater Houston in lane 2 to your right, Western Reserve in lane 4 to your left, and Minneapolis in the center in lane 3.
Western Reserve in the lead at 750 with 250 to go, but Greater Houston shifted into overdrive and really began to move past them. Here's Minneapolis trying to catch up and maybe try to battle for that second place with Western Reserve, but the Greater Houston Composite looking fast and furious and even picking up their pace even more as they get closer to the finish line. In the women's lightweight 4s B category final, it is Greater Houston Composite, followed by Western Reserve and then Minneapolis. Exciting racing here at the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. We'll be back live streaming here on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel after a break and a word from one of our sponsors.
Why deal with the hassle of transport when you can rent new boats from Wintech? Keep it simple. Show up, row, win, and party. Leave the logistics and hassles to us. Check out the service we're providing Team Chinook, and if you'd like more information, feel free to stop by the Row America booth and talk to a representative today.
On the banks of the beautiful Grand River here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I'm Mark Purcell with Rob Shea calling the races on this Saturday of finals for the 2019 Masters National Championships. At the halfway point, here are the women's lightweight doubles final with Mitchell and Flowers from SAC in lane 1, Mazzullo and Deeperink from Minneapolis lane 2, Hollins and Acera from Capital in lane 3, Janowitz and Fierabend from Three Rivers in lane 4, Molinar and Esway from Dallas in lane 5, and Davis and McCullough from Saugatuck in lane 6. And I have to say I have a note here that Erica Mitchell and Christine Flowers racing today in honor of their friend Elizabeth Beckton. Elizabeth passed away suddenly in June of 2019. She was a supportive of many others at various rowing clubs throughout the country, visited California often to row and race with them. Her home club was the Potomac Boat Club, and in honor of Elizabeth, who was an amazing Wonder Woman, they are wearing her favorite necklace, using her sculls, and rowing in the first lightweight double rowing shell she raced in with them beginning in 1998. That is in lane 1, the scullers from Sacramento State Aquatic Center, the SAC, rowing in memory of their friend Erica Mitchell, of Elizabeth Beckton. Erica Mitchell and Christine Flowers remembering their friends on this Masters National Saturday.
That's an amazing tribute to the impact that people can have through this sport. We've seen that a lot at various organizations, and it's fantastic to see them continue that memory.
Hollins and Acera from Capital out in front here with Janowitz and Molinar and Esway of Dallas. battling here in the women's lightweight doubles final D age category. We're seeing Hollins and Acera from Capital doing battle here with Molinar and Esway of Dallas, who are trying to chase them down with Davis and McCullough from Saugatuck. And at the line, it is the boat from Capital crossing before Saugatuck, followed by Dallas. That's 1, 2, 3. Then comes Three Rivers, Mitchell and Flowers from the SAC, and Mazzullo and Deeperink from Minneapolis. And Mitchell and Flowers remembering their friend Elizabeth Beckton. They say if one thing can be learned from Elizabeth's untimely death, please make sure all of your affairs are in order so that your friends and family can help you in a time of need, of transition from the here and now. The men's open AA singles roaring down the course already at 7:50. It's Alex Pappas of Wyandotte, Christopher Petershagen from Everett Association, Blaine Brown of Greater Columbus, Kevin Kimber of Texas Center, Julio Sanchez, Greater Columbus, Thomas Beckenhauer of Belmont, and it is a battle out in front right now as we are seeing the two boats in lanes 6 and 4 battling at the front with lane 3 right behind them, and then the Everett Association and Wyandotte right there with them as well. At the 7:50, the only one who is now off the pace and must be having an issue is lane 5 there, but the other competition is just roaring down the thing. Julio Sanchez of Greater Columbus off the pace. Might have a reason, but boy, here is Thomas Beckenhauer of Belmont and Kevin Kimber of Texas Center going back and forth. It looks like Kimber of Texas Center may have an advantage as they're coming down to the line. He picks up a couple of extra hard pulls, a couple of power strokes, and it is Kevin Kimber of Texas Center winning the gold. Thomas Beckenhauer of Belmont in second. Third belongs to Blaine Brown of Greater Columbus. Then Petershagen of Everett Association, Alex Pappas of Wyandotte, and we will have Julio Sanchez of Greater Columbus crossing in 6th after some issue right before the 750-meter mark.
Boy, Kimber really locked in on his competitor, Beckenhauer, in lane 6, and I saw him turn his head, lock in, and then there was some just really strong strokes that happened right at that point, really fighting to keep hold of the gold.
It was a power 10 compressed into a power 3, I think, is what happened right there. Now the women's lightweight AA singles. The youngest of the single category here racing. It's Pamela Yeshuas from Lincoln Park, Melissa Kubacki from Hinsdale, Madison Waddle from Riddle Point, Rachel Bushman from Greater Columbus, and Jamie Voros from Boulder, who are racing down the course right now. It's Rachel Bushman from Greater Columbus out in the lead, with Jamie Voros of Boulder in second at this point, but hard charge here at the 750 mark from Pamela Yeshuas of Lincoln Park. So Jamie Voros of Boulder and Yeshuas of Lincoln Park side by side fighting for second place, with Melissa Kubacki from Hinsdale, followed by Madison Waddle of Riddle Point. Rachel Bushman of Greater Columbus, though, out in front by a boat length or so here in the AA category, the women's lightweight singles. A battle between Yeshuas of Lincoln Park in lane 1 and Jamie Voros of Boulder in lane 6, lane 5, opposite sides of the course in this 5-boat race. But Rachel Bushman looking very comfortable there in lane 4, rowing towards the gold in the women's lightweight singles in the AA category. There's Rachel Bushman winning. We'll see how second place will battle. It was really Pamela Yeshuas from Lincoln Park on the move at 750. She'll get the silver. It'll be Jamie Voros of Boulder in third in the women's lightweight singles. Then Melissa Kubacki from Hinsdale and Madison Waddle from Riddle Point in that order. singles in the A-plus lightweights now, ranging from, well, 3 boats in the A category, 1 in the B, and 1 in the E. That's in lane 1. Catherine Achari from CRI racing in the women's lightweight singles A-plus category. In category E, she's in lane 1. Mariana Falco from Vesper in lane 2. Elizabeth Hindley from OKC Riversport in lane 3. Jessica Krug from Chinook in lane 4. And in lane 5 from Rocky Mountain, Natalie Ormond racing here halfway in. And these boats are all pretty evenly matched at this point, with the exception of Catherine Achari from CRI, who is a couple of boat lengths back. But it does appear that right now it is a battle in lanes 3 and 4, but an advantage to Natalie Ormond of Rocky Mountain right now in lane 5, slightly ahead. But Elizabeth Henley from OKC Riversport pulling hard and pulling into the lead as they move through 650 and towards that 750 mark. It is Hindley from OKC Riversport in lane 3 in the lead. She has about a half a boat length over Mariana Falco from Vesper. Then it's Jessica Krug from Chinook and Natalie Ormond from Rocky Mount in that order at the 750, followed by Catherine Acciari. Big pull from Elizabeth Hindley of OKC Riversport. She is out by about a boat length, but Mariana Falco from Vesper is on the move and beginning to try to catch up. In the meantime, Jessica Krug from Chinook is pulled ahead of Natalie Ormond of Rocky Mountain as they come down into the final quarter of the race. It's still Hindley of OKC Riversport out in front with an open water, but a hard-charging Vesper boat. Mariana Falco coming up hot on her stern. Women's lightweight singles gold medal in the A-plus category on the line. Elizabeth Hindley, OKC Riversport, picking up the chop and flying towards the finish, pulling away from the crowd. It's Elizabeth Hindley of OKC Riversport with the gold. Mariana Falco from Vesper in the silver. A hard pull right there. Oh, Jessica Krug of Chinook almost lost the bronze as Natalie Ormond from Rocky Mountain was charging when Krug stopped rowing just at the line. And then Catherine Acciari from CRI coming across. Already at 750, the next race, the men's lightweight doubles final. Sebro and Briggs from Greater Columbus in lane 1. They are fighting for the lead right now with Wobesser and Kaplan from the White Marsh Composite in lane 4. That's out in front. In between them, it is King and Slater of Greater Columbus, Berthold and Gagliano of Greater Columbus, and on the outside from 612 Endurance, Alfano and Raglan. But the battle right now is between Sebro and Briggs of Greater Columbus Composite and Wobesser and Kaplan, the White Marsh Composite. They are going bow ball to bow ball in the final 50 meters of this course. We'll see who has the most power right here at the end. It does look like the boat of Sebro and, oh wow, it was Wobesser and Kaplan of White Marsh just ahead of Sebro and Briggs of Greater Columbus. They were followed by, I think that's Alfano and Raglan, a 612 Endurance. It's again the low lights beginning to wreak havoc with the spotter's eyes. But what a race there, the men's lightweight doubles. Fantastic finals here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. We'll be back with some 8s after a quick break.
Off the start now is our next race, the Women's Club 8 final in the C category. In lane 1, Greenwich. In lane 2, Ann Arbor. Lane 3, Alexandria. Lane 4, Western Reserve. In lane 5, Carnegie Lake. And in lane 6, Riverside. Early in this race, it's 6 abreast. Crossing the 250. Now approaching the 500-meter mark, halfway down the race, still too close to call in this Women's Club 8 final in the C category. Starting to see some separation in the middle lanes. That's Carnegie Lake in lane 5, Western Reserve in lane 4, and Alexandria in lane 3. Ann Arbor in lane 2, Riverside in lane 6, and Greenwich in lane 1. Out in front now, it's Western Reserve in lane 4, followed by Carnegie Lake in lane 5, and in lane 3, Alexandria. Followed by Riverside in 6, Ann Arbor in 2, and Greenwich in 1. Now into the second half of the course. Charging up to the finish, we're looking at Western Reserve in lane 4, followed by Carnegie Lake in 5, and Riverside in 6. However, ahead of them, in lane 3 is Alexandria. And there we can see up in lane 4, Western Reserve, followed by Carnegie Lake in 5, Alexandria in 4, Ann Arbor in 2, with Riverside in 6, and Greenwich in 1 as we're into the final 250 meters of the race. Western Reserve hanging on to their lead ahead of Carnegie Lake and Alexandria. Now in the last 100 meters of the race, the Women's Club 8 in the C category. Western Reserve hanging onto their lead in lane 4. Now approaching the finish. In lane 4, it's Western Reserve with the gold. Followed in lane 5 by Carnegie Lake. And in lane 3, Alexandria. In lane 2, Ann Arbor. Lane 6, Riverside, and Greenwich in lane 1. Fiercely competitive. The Women's Club 8 in the C category.
What a display of athletic prowess there. Just amazing. We'd like to thank Vespoli for being today's presenting partner of the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships live streaming on the U.S. Rowing YouTube page. Please check out Vespoli.com to learn more about how we're advancing the sport of rowing across the country.
Now charging down the course, the Women's Open Quad in the F category. In lane 1, Vesper Composite. In lane 2, Rocky Mountain. Lane 3, Martha's Mom's Composite. In lane 4, Minneapolis. In lane 5, Chinook. And in lane 6, Greater Columbus.
Martha's Mom Rowing Club from Seattle, Washington. 12 entries here, and they have been, well, in at least a few of the finals we've been calling here, Rob.
Very competitive. Hanging in the front now, Martha's Mom in lane 3 with Minneapolis there in lane 4.
Lane 1, Vesper Composite, not too far off the pace. So we see a beautiful shot from our little drone friend there.
There's lane 3, Martha's Mom in the lead, followed by Minneapolis in 4, Chinook in 5, Greater Columbus in 6. Over in lane 1, it's Vesper, and in lane 2, Rocky Mountain.
Rowing towards downtown Grand Rapids on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Live streaming coverage of the finals of the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. He's Rob Shea. I'm Mark Purcell. Glad to have you here on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel or on the banks of the Grand River as we are watching Martha's Moms. The Martha's Moms Composite rowing at the 750 mark in the lead with Minneapolis right behind, and then a battle for third. Greater Columbus, Chinook, and Rocky Vesper Composite. Very close together.
About a half a shell length separating Martha's Moms in lane 3 and Minneapolis in lane 4.
Greater Columbus in third right now, but Chinook right there, quarter of a boat length behind with Rocky Vesper Composite right behind, then Rocky Mountain crossing the 750 now. Women's Open Quads, F category.
Minneapolis trying to close the gap. But Martha's Mom's Composite staying strong in lane 3.
Going for the gold, Martha's Mom's Composite in lane 3 in the Women's Open Quads, F category final. Minneapolis crossing in second. Here comes the race for third. Greater Columbus trying to battle away Vesper Composite, but it looks like it's Vesper Composite eking past them right there at the end, past Greater Columbus, followed by Chinook, then Rocky Mountain.
Vesper Composite made up a lot of ground in the last leg of that race to close and medal.
More eights, the men's open 8 in the E category, racing already and moving towards the 500-meter mark.
In lane 1, Sarasota Crew Composite. In lane 2, Capital. In lane 3, Chinook. In lane 4, Palm Beach Composite. And in lane 5, Mary Meeting Composite.
149 clubs represented here at the second largest U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships ever, 2,123 entries. And in this particular category, it's come down to these 5 boats going for the gold in the men's Open 8 E category, with all of them fairly even right now. Maybe the Sarasota Crew Composite with a slight advantage, but the Palm Beach Composite looks very strong as well. That blue of Chinook in the middle, always a threat, as is the red, white, and black of Capital, with the Mary Meeting Composite in the mix too as they move into the third quarter of this race.
Now we can see Palm Beach in lane 4 clearly in the lead, with Chinook in lane 3 following. Out in lane 5, it's Mary Meeting Composite. In lane 1, Sarasota Crew Composite. And in lane 2, Capital.
Four, 5, 3, the standing as they go across. So that's Palm Beach, Mary Meeting, and Chinook. 1, 2, 3 at the moment. But things can change swiftly here in the last 250 meters of the races. We see a big kick in from the Sarasota Crew Composite, and they have begun to really haul.
Everybody up their stroke rate right around 800 meters. That's Palm Beach Composite in lane 4 in the lead. Now closing in on the finish in lane 4, Palm Beach Composite. And they'll be the first across to gold in lane 4. A big push for the silver and a photo finish for second between Chinook in lane 3 and Mary Meeting in lane 5. Sarasota came across next in lane 1, followed by Capital. I am not sure how the finals ended up there. That was too close to call. Going to look forward to the photo finish in that one. Very exciting race here. The Men's Open 8 in the E category at the 2019 Masters National Championship Regatta.
It really has been an exciting afternoon of finishes. Some of these finishes have been just outstanding. I mean, we had been watching finals for the last 2 days, Rob, and thought we had seen some highly competitive races, but it has not held a match to what's been going on today. It's just a plethora of finishes that
you don't have a lot of a ton of strategy options in a 1,000-meter race, and yet we're seeing amazing power, amazing moves happening in the last couple hundred meters. Stroke rate changes, big power shifts, changing positions. People are not letting go. They're fighting till the end.
We'll see if the same happens here with the women's club fours in the E category. The final includes Conabear in lane 1, East Arm in lane 2, Georgian Bay from Canada in lane 3, Upper Valley in lane 4, Baltimore in lane 5, and Minneapolis in lane 6. And
currently out in front is Upper Valley in lane 4, followed by Georgian Bay in 3, East Arm in 2, Conabear in 1, Baltimore in lane 5, and Minneapolis in lane 6.
Rowing on the Connecticut River, the Upper Valley Rowing Foundation out of Hanover, New Hampshire. They have been making some surprise showings, really having a great performance in some of the finals. Their boats going out fast and staying out front in these finals races.
Upper Valley out in front now as we approach the 500 mark, looking to make some open water between them and the number 3 lane boat, Georgia Bay in second.
Upper Valley looking very strong through 500. Continuing to lead by almost a boat length. Georgian Bay in pursuit, as is Conabear and East Arm. Baltimore and Minneapolis in the meantime in lanes 5 and 6, side by side. 1, 2, 3 though is Upper Valley, Georgian Bay, and East Arm.
Followed by Conabear in lane 1. East Arm, Upper Valley trying to pull away, but still can't get more space between themselves and second, the Georgian Bay boat in lane 3.
Georgian Bay really on the move right now. We've seen them accelerate in the second half of the race. In other finals, the club seems to have a very interesting race strategy, and they're putting it to work again as they have caught up with the Upper Valley boat in the lead, and they are now in contact and beginning to walk up on Upper Valley. Upper Valley had been very quick through the first 3 quarters, and now in the final quarter, they are beginning to pay the price as it is so Georgian Bay
did that
charging.
Early lead cost them too much to be able to survive the big push at the final 200 meters?
Well, I know seeing that boat from Georgian Bay coming zooming up behind them has got a little adrenaline going as they stroke towards the finish line. Who will win the women's club fours in the E category? We'll see in the next 10 strokes. Upper Valley pulling hard. You can see the bow of the Georgian Bay boat charging, but at the finish it is Upper Valley winning the gold. Georgian Bay in second and East Arm in third.
Very strong performance by Upper Valley. They saw the challenge coming, started to get the encroachment and said, nope, not going to happen. Began to pull away and created more open water just before the finish to take the gold.
Exciting racing here. Live from the Grand River in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. We'd like to thank again Vespoli for being today's presenting partner of the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships live streaming on the U.S. Rowing YouTube page. Please check out Vespoli.com to learn more about how they're advancing this sport of rowing across the country. Great coverage as we watch the men's open pairs in the G category. This is when age, wisdom, and experience pays off when you come to the pair.
Absolutely, and it's also a challenge if you get a little bit of wind. The steering can become extraordinarily difficult in the pair here. Off in this race in lane 1, we have Matheson and Verton from SAC. In lane 2, Duthie and Broader from New Haven. In lane 3, Pershall and Massman, Mount Baker. In lane 4, Siddick and Selden, Detroit Composite. In lane 5, D'Souza and Tabay from Greenwich. And in lane 6, Rauschenfels and Peterson from Duluth.
Sidek and Selden from Detroit Composite in the lead at the halfway point with Rauschenfels and Peterson from Duluth in second, but very tight right behind them with the boat from Greenwich, the one from Mount Baker, and the one from SAC. Those all very close, with New Haven still in contact with that pack. But it was Sidek and Selden, the Detroit Composite, out by about a boat length over the second place Rauschenfels and Peterson of Duluth. We'll see how they line up here as they hit the 750. Fighting the glare we are, looking across. We can see Cytec out front, and it is that Duluth boat still in second. But third, that's really a toss-up between three boats, the SAC boat, the Mount Baker boat, and the Greenwich boat. They are all bow ball to bow ball and really threatening that second place Duluth boat.
And from the overhead view, you can really see the challenge it is to steer these boats. Extraordinarily difficult.
Cytec and Selden from Detroit Composite. That Detroit Composite looking very strong out front. But here is a charge from Rauschenfels and Peterson at Duluth as they feel that competition beginning to threaten them, those three boats that were zooming up on their tail. So all the boats beginning their sprints and really moving fast towards the finish. Still Cytec and Selden from Detroit in the lead, now second. A battle shaping up between Mount Baker and Duluth. Mount Baker really on the move, as is the SAC boat. The SAC boat going a little askew. That's going to cost them, but at the line, it's Detroit Composite, Cytec and Selden. The Duluth boat will hold on for second. Third belongs to Mount Baker's Peschel and Massman. Then it was the boat from Greenwich, New Haven, and SAC, not necessarily in that order. More exciting racing still to come here, streaming live on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel. After we take a break, another set of pairs.
Why deal with the hassle of transport when you can rent new boats from Wintec? Keep it simple. Show up, row, win, and party. Leave the logistics and hassles to us. Check out the service we're providing Team Chinook, and if you'd like more information, feel free to stop by the Row America booth and talk to a representative today.
Great crowd on the shore. Great crowd cheering on the competitors here at the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're still waiting for the start of the next race, so we'll take another quick break to thank our sponsors here on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel. Welcome back. I'm Mark Purcell with Rob Shea on the banks of the Grand River in Grand Rapids, Michigan, as we await the start for our next final here on a Saturday of gold medal races at the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. We've seen some just blazingly inspiring finishes, and I imagine that this race, once it gets underway, it appears from what I can see on the lineup of the boats, they're waiting for one more boat in this race. I see an empty stake boat holder, so I think they're waiting for one boat to get to the start before they begin the men's pair H plus category. And I know you love talking about these older rowers. Obviously very inspirational, and I'm a bit envious of them being in as good a shape as they are at 70 to 74 years of age, and hoping I can row as fast and as furious as they do.
Well, what's amazing in this H plus category is we actually have in this upcoming event 3 shells in the H category. We have 2 shells in the I category, which is that upper 70s range, and then we have a shell in the J category, which is in the 80s range. And really, that just shows, it demonstrates the experience and the technique that can be brought to a pair event. You know, when you're young, you can bring a lot of power to these 8s and 4s, and you could charge down the river super fast, and you could be a little sloppy, you know, and you know, still power through. But when you get to these finesse events, it's the technique that really counts. And as we're seeing, age may be an advantage even when it comes to technique in these events.
Well, and the ability to adapt to your partner, knowing, getting that feel, that muscle memory that you can have that tells you exactly how much or how little you're pulling, more or less than your partner. So As we look overhead and see them lining up, you can see some of the challenge of trying to get them to line up. Great view of the starting platforms here for the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National, and a great view of the start. And you can see how difficult it is to get these boats even just going straight when you only have 2 oars, 1 per rower. And you can see a little of incursion from lane 4 to lane 3 there. So yeah, you know there's going to be some words being exchanged when it comes to that.
We didn't have any contact there, which was good. There might have been a non-contact impact, of course. If there had been contact that early in the race, we might have seen a reset. It's extraordinarily difficult to line up these pairs at the start if you get a little gust of wind to get them all lined up at even 6 rows across and start. So a little bit of a miscue there at the beginning, but successfully cleared up, and we're off to the races.
Lane 1 from the All-American Rowing Club in DeLand, Florida. We have Santucci and Fury. In lane 2, Morschauser and Anderson from Dallas. Walsh and Johnson from San Diego in lane 3. In lane 4, Schuster and Schuster from San Diego. In lane 5 from Greater Columbus, Watterson and Brooks. And it's Harrelson and Tannhauser from Casitas in lane 6, rowing here in the men's open pair final in the H+ category. As Rob mentioned, we have 3 boats in the H category, 2 in the I, and 1 in the J. Through 250 and moving towards 500. Looks like the red of San Diego out in front. That's lane 2, actually Dallas. Morschauser and Anderson from Dallas. Out in the lead early, the San Diego boat. In lane 4, that's Schuster and Schuster in second at the moment. Through the 500, then back to the other San Diego boat of Walsh and Johnson. Then Casitas, Greater Columbus, and the All-American Camp boat. Look at this fine form of Morschauser and Anderson from Dallas. As you can see them moving in sync. Very smooth, very straight, and that's what has them in the lead at the moment. Regatta Central is the rowing community's premier registration and management provider. By offering customizable configurations for both regattas and club management solutions, Regatta Central can help streamline your next event or club program. Visit regattacentral.com to learn more. Morschauser and Anderson for Dallas on the way to a gold here in the men's open pairs H+. Schuster and Schuster of San Diego in second, and then Walsh and Johnson from San Diego in third. Harrelson and Tannhauser of Casitas in fourth. The Greater Columbus boat of Watterson and Brooks in fifth. And Santucci and Fury of All-American Camp approaching the 750 now. Fine row from Morschauser and Anderson of Dallas, crossing the line first. Then it's Schuster and Schuster of San Diego. And we're looking at Santucci and Fury of the All-American Camp. Walsh and Johnson of San Diego crossing in third. Harrelson and Tannhauser of Casitas in fourth. Watterson and Brooks at Greater Columbus will cross in fifth in their orange unis. And then Santucci and Fury of the All-American camp will cross the line.
Quick shout out to those watching us on the U.S. Rowing live stream. We've had some questions about the events. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, we started live streaming at about 4:30 Eastern today, and you can use that time and compare that time to the event times listed on herenow.com if you're looking for a specific event.
Here we go to the men's lightweight D through K fours. Riverfront Recapture in lane 2, Western Reserve lane 3, 612 Endurance in lane 4, and Chinook in lane 5. They are just past 500, and it is Western Reserve and Chinook battling it out in the front with 612 Endurance and Riverfront Recapture in the back by about a boat length of open water. But Chinook and Western Reserve going head-to-head with maybe a slight advantage to Western Reserve here in the men's lightweight D through K4 final. Western Reserve kicking it up as they approach the 750. Chinook seeing that and responding. I think Western Reserve wanted to threaten Chinook, and Chinook obviously reacting, but Chinook still in the lead by half a boat length. But Western Reserve is really on the charge right now here in this D through K final. We have D, F, and G category boats here. Western Reserve is a D. The Chinook is an F. 612 Endurance in the G category, and Riverfront Recapture in the F category. So out front, Chinook, the F category boat, trying to fight off the younger D boat from Western Reserve. Chinook up by a half a boat length at 750, repelling the drive from Western Reserve, but as they come down to the line, it's a hard charge for both these boats as Western Reserve is really in the sprint. Chinook sensing that, their coxswain calling for more as they come the last 20 meters to the finish line. It is Chinook by a boat length over Western Reserve. The men's lightweight fours, D through K final. Then 612 Endurance trying to stave off the advancing Riverfront Recapture, and it is 612 Endurance over Riverfront Recapture. What a showing from Chinook there. The F category boat beating the younger D category boat for the gold.
Technique over power.
Wisdom of the age. 2. On to the lightweight doubles in the F category. Wisluzel and Rodenfels from Greater Columbus will be rowing in lane 1. Lane 2, Flowers and Strobridge from Vesper, a composite boat there. Walters and Graubard from Chinook in lane 3. Then in lane 4, Pierce and Harling at Cambridge. Fossey and Middendorf from Narragansett in lane 5, and Tweet and Wilmot from Lincoln Park in lane 6 in the women's lightweight doubles final. And it is Cambridge and Chinook out in the middle, battling it out right now as they cross the 500-meter mark.
This is the first in a series of women's lightweight doubles, starting in the F category.
Chinook and Cambridge head-to-head through 500 and continuing on down. Then it's Lincoln Park, Narragansett, and the Vesper Composite in that order. Greater Columbus boat is racing, but it is way behind. There must have been an issue. I think the Vesper composite, let's see. No. Well, your announcer's getting a little bit confused. I'm not counting as many boats as I think should be there.
Yeah, we've got 5 shells on the water, but 6 in the lineup, so we just want to confirm what we're seeing.
Then the next race is supposed to have 4 shells, and I only see 3.
We've got a scratch in the next race, so that accounts for that. But
so at least we're in the right place.
We may have had a did not start in this event, and we just don't know what lane that was.
But out in front, Chinook and Cambridge, as they're being cheered to victory. It is the boat from Cambridge, Chinook, with an advantage over Cambridge at the line of about a boat length in the women's lightweight doubles. So chalk another one up to Chinook, with Cambridge in second and Lincoln Park in third. And then Narragansett. I believe it was the Vesper composite that was not in that race, if I read my bow numbers correctly. I did see bow number 1. So we'd like to thank Vespoli for being today's presenting partner of the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships live streaming on the U.S. Rowing YouTube page. Check out Vespoli.com to learn more about how we're advancing the sport of rowing across the country. Thanks to Vespoli. Also here on site. We're watching the next of the lightweight doubles.
This is the G category. In lane 1, Hopkins and Sturton Ost from Texas. In lane 2, Kelly and Julin from Masters Coaching. In lane 3, St. Aubin, Vigar and Fagan from San Diego. And we had a scratch in lane 4. We finally got official confirmation that it was lane 2 in the last race. There was a did not start.
And it is St. Aubin Vehar Fagan from San Diego in the lead by about 2/3 of a boat length over Keller and Julin from Masters Coaching. They're right there with them with Hopkins and Sturton Alst of Texas Rowing Center. About a half a boat length of open water behind at 750, but out in front it is San Diego trying to hold on. A hard charging Masters Coaching, though, walking right up on them here at 750, the final 250, and beginning that sprint. And Masters Coaching on the move right now. Masters Coaching at least even, if not slightly ahead of the boat from San Diego now. The women's lightweight doubles, G category final, Masters Coaching on the move there at 750, and now moving forward again. You see the bow glancing over towards that San Diego boat to assess the situation and see how they're doing as they come to the line. And there is Masters Coaching looking again. San Diego glancing as they come down to the line. Big push for Masters Coaching, trying to overtake and get past San Diego. And as they come into the final 15 meters of this 1,000-meter race, right at the line in the women's lightweight doubles, it looks like Masters Coaching just eases out by about a foot. That'll be tight. We'll have to let the refs call that over San Diego. Then comes the Texas Rowing Center composite. What a big pull for that Masters Coaching boat racing that San Diego boat.
What an amazing finish in our G category.
We'll have more amazing finishes still to come as the coverage continues of the Masters National Championships here in Grand Rapids after a break for a commercial. An exciting finish in the G category, the women's lightweight doubles. Now it's the H plus category with Oliver and Calvin of Kona-Bear in lane 1, Graybill Ostrander of Central Pennsylvania in lane 2, Brian and Ellsberg of Chinook in lane 3, Worcesters and McLean of Colorado Composite in lane 4. Smith and Smith of Martha's Moms in lane 5. Runyon and Hardy of North Cascades Composite in lane 6. And this is the H+ category, 70 and above. And right now, it looks like North Cascades Composite and the boat from Conabear are bow ball to bow ball as they come down. In the meantime, it's a real fight for third, but Ostrander and Graybeal from Central Pennsylvania in third right now, trying to push off the Martha's Moms boat in lane 5 as they come through 750. And right here at 750, Conabear moving into the lead over the North Cascades Composite. Then a very tight race between lanes 3, 4, and 5. But third place still being held by the Central Pennsylvania boat of Graybeal and Ostrander. Conabear, nice move at 750. They are now out ahead, but just barely over Runyon and Hardy of North Cascades Composite. Half a boat length, maybe a third of a boat length here in the final 100 meters.
It's about a half a boat length lead, but it changes with every stroke.
Central Pennsylvania's Graybeal and Ostrander trying to make up some ground, but running out of water. Look how tight all these boats are. A couple of boat lengths of each other. Here they come to the line in the women's lightweight doubles H+ category. At the line it is Conabear's Oliver and Calvin with the gold. Runyon and Hardy of North Cascades, followed by Graybeal and Ostrander of Central Pennsylvania. Then it's Chinook, Colorado Composite, and Martha's Moms in that order. Tight racing there in the lightweight doubles final for the women. We saw the men's pairs just a few minutes ago. Now it's the women's open pairs in the C category. Tomaseski and Elting of Dallas in lane 1. Reeves and Thompson, Three Rivers in lane 2. Atterbury and Mills of Greenwich in lane 3. Iannacone and Parker Hughes from Annapolis in lane 4. Kunau and Lampa from Minneapolis in lane 5. And it is that lane 5. Well, the green of Minneapolis, and yes, that lane 5 out in the lead by about 3 boat lengths of open water.
Pretty much crushing the field here. And Minneapolis out in the lead, followed by Dallas, Three Rivers in lane 2, and then Annapolis in lane 4. Greenwich now pushing up in lane 3, giving a challenge to Annapolis for that third place spot.
Indeed. And Greenwich moving up on Annapolis there through 750, glancing over and trying to do it. Three Rivers, though, holding on to second. It's going to be a battle for third. But, boy, that Greenwich boat of Atterbury and Mills on the move and trying to catch up with Reeves and Thompson of Three Rivers. Just about 70 meters from the finish. Kunau and Lampa from Minneapolis looking strong in the women's open pairs C category. Second, though, a big battle going on, but it does appear, well, nothing's over till it's over, but Minneapolis for certain crossing the line first and getting the gold in the women's open pairs C category final. Here comes Three Rivers, Reeves and Thompson. A hard-charging Greenwich trying to catch up, but they'll run out of water. It is Three Rivers with the second place, and then Greenwich with third, Annapolis with fourth in the women's open pairs C category final.
And we've just received confirmation from the officials that lane 1, Dallas, did not start in that event.
Let's go back to the big boats. Why don't we, Rob?
That sounds like a fabulous thing to do. This is the Men's Club C category of the eights, the Men's Club eights. In lane 1, Austin. In lane 2, Riverfront Recapture. In lane 3, Western Reserve. Lane 4, Texas Rowing Center. Lane 5, Western Reserve B. And in lane 6, San Diego.
They are really flying down about the halfway point. Hard to call at this point, but it does look like Western Reserve and Texas Rowing Center battling out in the front. Third belongs to Riverfront Recapture, then back to the Western Reserve B, or next, San Diego, and then Western Reserve B. But boy, in the middle of the course, Western Reserve A and the Texas Rowing Center are even as they pass through 500 and towards the 750. Western Reserve going back and forth with Dallas. Riverfront Recapture trying to make up some ground. In the meantime, San Diego and the Western Reserve B boat battling on the far side of the course. Then it's back to Austin in the back of the pack, but it's the Texas Rowing Center beginning to move slightly ahead. But even with the Western Reserve boat at 750, they have about a deck over Western Reserve, but that won't last long at all. It is San Diego in third right now, but Riverfront Recapture on the move. Another exciting finish coming up in the men's club 8, the C category. The big boats dogging it out towards the finish line. Western Reserve and Texas Rowing Center punching back and forth all the way through the second half of the race, continuing to do so as they come down to the line, and the gold medal effort. Western Reserve just ahead of Texas Rowing Center, and they come to the line, and it is Western Reserve by a nose, maybe. I'm going to leave it up to the officials to call that one. Looks like San Diego crosses in third just ahead of Riverfront Recapture, then the Western Reserve B boat, and Austin in that order in the men's club 8 C category.
If you want to figure out how to win a race in the last stroke, that would be a good replay to watch.
Indeed. Western Reserve, Texas Rowing Center going head to head as you're watching live streaming coverage. The 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. Again, I'd like to thank Vespoli for being today's presenting partner of the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships live streaming. The U.S. Rowing YouTube page. Check out Vespoli.com to learn more about how they're advancing the sport of rowing across the country. From the big sweep boats, the 8s, to the doubles of the sculls. We have the men's open doubles B category. From Atomic Composite, Worth and Rogers. From Beaver Creek Sculling Composite, Cortez and Jackson. Texas Centers, Nifton and Borschelt. Then Cardana and Pappas from Wyandotte, Ryan and Rhodes from Undine, and Guerrero and Waterfield from Greater Columbus. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as they come out. And we have the battle right now between the boat from Texas Center and Wyandotte in the center, with a close race of Greater Columbus right behind them, followed by the Beaver Creek Sculling Composite and that boat from from Undine. 750 though. Let's see who has the advantage. It is lane 4, Wyandotte. Wyandotte has half a boat length over the Texas Centers, Nifton and Borschelt. Greater Columbus in third, but a hard charge from the Beaver Creek Sculling Composite. They're right there with them. 4 boats vying for the push. Out in front, it is Wyandotte, Cardana, and Pappas. They're trying to stay in front of Nifton and Borschelt in the Texas Center. They have the advantage of about a third of a boat length. Coming down into the final 100 meters. The Texas Center is being difficult and continuing to push them. In the meantime, Ryan and Rhodes from Undine on the charge as they come towards the finish. It is very close between Wyandotte and Texas Center. Looks like Undine may have crossed in third, followed by the Beaver Creek Sculling Composite, then Greater Columbus and the Atomic Composite. I blinked and missed that finish. Can you believe it, Rob? I blinked.
I can believe it this afternoon. I do have a quick announcement to make. We have a drone in the area that is interfering with the drone coverage, the official drone coverage we have for this race. So if you are using a drone in this area, we ask you to land. It is interfering with our official drone coverage of the race. please land your drone so that we can continue our aerial coverage of this regatta. Thank you.
Again, we'd like those beautiful shots from overhead. So if you are flying a drone in the area, please land your drone so the official drone can take over the coverage and bring us better shots of what's happening in this competition. Thank you. Women's Open 4, B category. Lane 1, Alexandria Composite, Capital Composite in Lane 2. Lane 3 is a Carnegie Lake. And Lane 4, Chinook. The Chinook B boat in Lane 5 and Masters Coaching in Lane 6. The lineup right there with the familiar blue of Chinook out in the lead early on. Carnegie Lake trying to chase them down. The Chinook B boat right beside them. Back to Masters Coaching. Then we have the Capital Composite and the Alexandria Composite in this race. But as we look and see, we have Chinook, the Chinook A boat with an open water lead over the rest of the pack. Chinook B in second. And then Masters Coaching in third with Carnegie Lake right there with them. Capital not to be left out, and Alexandria Composite slightly off the pace. Capital really on the move in this third 250. Moving up, Carnegie Lake coming with them. The Chinook B boat and the Masters Coaching boat here at 750. The Chinook B in second, but only for a few more strokes because Capital is on the move. Capital drawing up and parallel to the Chinook B boat. They are now moving into second. Chinook B now fighting to hold on to that second spot, picking up the pace to try to keep up with Capital with that Masters Coaching boat trying to stay with them. Carnegie Lake also trying to stick with them. Chinook in lane 4, leading from early on. Capital really on the move right now. Capital firmly in second place. The Chinook B boat in third. Carnegie Lake on the charge right now, though. Coming down to the line. Will they have enough? It is Capital for the silver. Chinook taking gold and bronze. Carnegie Lake right after them, then the Masters Coaching boat and the Alexandria Composite, the Capital Composite boat. A big charge through 750, taking that silver away from the Chinook B boat.
Now halfway down the course, the men's open double in the D category. In lane 1, McDonough and Savage from Texas. In lane 2, Bajanic and Stojavanik from Serbia. In lane 3, Ingleton and Wink from Georgian Bay. In lane 4, Dundon Green from 612 Endurance. In lane 5, Wolf and Guerrerian from Narragansett. And in lane 6, Morrow and Faber from 612 Endurance.
The Serbian boat, yes, international visitors to the Masters National Championships for 2019. Here rowing in the men's open doubles in the D category. Bojanic and Stojanovic
leading the pack. They dominated in the heats earlier today and demonstrating commanding performance in the finals as well, clearing some open water.
612 Endurance in second right now, but facing a challenge from their teammates in the lane 4, Dundon and Green challenging Morrow and Faber. Morrow and Faber in second right now, but our boat from Serbia in lane 2, Bojanic and Stojanovic, are in the lead with about 2 boat lengths of open water as we do get a shot from overhead. Morrow and Faber from 612 Endurance in second right now with their teammates Dundon and Green in third, being challenged by Georgian Bay, a Texas Center, and the Narragansett Composite. Very close together coming down to the line, but it is Serbia in lane 2 with the win, followed by Morrow and Faber of 612 Endurance. Then it's Dundon and Green of 612 Endurance, Wolf and Gorian of Narragansett, Georgian Bay's Ingleton and Wink, and then McDonough and Savage of Texas Center.
Another fantastic performance from the Serbia boat. Clearly, dramatically better than our butchered pronunciations of their names.
We'll have women's singles after a break from the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. I'm Mark Brazell with Rob Shea here on the banks of the Grand River in Grand Rapids, Michigan, as we watch the finals on this Saturday afternoon of the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. Watching the women's open singles in the D category rowing down. As we are watching, it looks like Roseanne Kirchhoff of the DWRA Detroit is in the lead. The lineup is Beth Burchell from Genesee Waterways in lane 1. Pamela Newhart from Chinook in lane 2. Kirchhoff from DWRA Detroit in lane 3. In lane 4, it's Kimberly Elting of Dallas. Lane 5, Christine Severson of 612 Endurance. In lane 6, Chris Henry of Georgian Bay, the women's open singles in the D category. Actually, I called that one out in the lead, but actually it is in lane 6 that we have our leader, Georgian Bay's Chris Henry.
I was wondering if lane 6 didn't start, but I just had to look farther upstream.
Kirchhoff from Detroit in second right now, with a third belonging to Kimberly Elting of Dallas. Fourth right now, Pamela Newhart of Chinook. Then Christine Severson of 612 Endurance, and Beth Burchell of the Genesee Waterways.
Lane
big
3,
push here.
Lane 3, big push from Detroit from Kirchhoff.
Trying to catch up with Chris Henry of Georgian Bay here in the singles. The last 250, very difficult for these athletes. They've got into race pace after a quick start, stroking down this 1,000 meters, and the legs beginning to burn. And you can see if you go out a little too fast, it can not pay off in the end. But we are watching this big push from Roseanne Kirchhoff of DWR Detroit coming down to the line in the women's open singles D category, passing Chris Henry of Georgian Bay. In the meantime, on the fly is Kimberly Elting of Dallas in lane 4 as well. Here comes a response from Chris Henry of Georgian Bay as they come down to the finish. And at the finish, still trying to make up ground. It is looking like Chris Henry of Georgian Bay maintained enough to beat out Roseanne Kirchhoff of DWR Detroit. Then Kimberly Elting of Dallas, followed by Pamela Newhart of Chinook, Christine Severson of 612 Endurance, Beth Burchell of Genesee Waterways. But don't blink, the dragsters are on the course here, Rob.
Exactly. It's the men's open quad in the F category. In lane 1, Catawba. In lane 2, Merry Meeting Composite. In lane 3, Baltimore Composite. Lane 4, Chinook B. In lane 5, Cincinnati Compose. In lane 6, Palm Beach Composite.
And it is Cincinnati and Chinook B that are battling it out at the front of the pack right now. Bow ball to bow ball as they come down to 750. In the meantime, in lane 2, the Merry Meeting Composite's in third place right now, but the Baltimore Composite in the lane beside them right there. But boy, even between Cincinnati and Chinook B as they come through 750. They are side by side. The Chinook B still rowing hard. No Robert Miller in the Cincinnati boat's already been in a couple of races today. We'll see if that may take a toll, but we can see him in the orange headband there trying to encourage his crew as he is stroking that boat. But Chinook B out in the lead in the men's open quads F category final.
Chinook B drifted a little bit towards lane 5 and then corrected back into the center of their lane. That might have cost them a little bit of time. We'll see as they close in on the finish.
It's still the Merrimeeting Composite in third place as they come into the final 70 meters of this 1,000-meter race. It's Chinook B out in front, and they will cross the line a third of a boat length ahead of the Cincinnati Composite, followed by the Merrimeeting Composite, then the Baltimore Composite, Palm Beach Composite, and then the boat from Catawba. Side-by-side racing here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Thanks again to Vespoli for being our presenting sponsor today, presenting partner of the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships live streaming. Check out Vespoli.com to learn more about how they're advancing the sport of rowing across the country. The Women's Open Quads G category with Chinook B in lane 1, Vesper Composite in lane 2, Chinook A in lane 3. Lane 4 is Greater Columbus, lane 5, Saugatuck, and lane 6, Masters Coaching. Big lead, it looks like here, Rob, for the Vesper Composite in lane 2.
That's right, early on. Vesper in lane 2, followed by Greater Columbus in lane 4. In lane 5, it's Saugatuck, encroaching a little bit. Lane 6, Masters Coaching.
Correcting their course, as is the lane 3 Chinook boat. But out in front, it is that Vesper Composite boat looking very comfortable in the lead. Greater Columbus chasing.
Now pulling ahead even further out in lane 2, the Vesper. Followed in lane 4, Greater Columbus. Bit of a battle shaping up in those outer lanes.
Yeah, I was going to say Saugatuck and Masters Coaching very close together and really in contact with Columbus, so not to be discounted if they begin to pull hard here in the final 300 meters.
That's Chinook in lane 3 and Chinook B in lane 1. Passing the 750. Now about 3 boat lengths of open water.
Almost a 5-second lead for that Vesper Composite here in this race right now.
And a battle still shaping up for second and third in those outer 3 lanes, 4, 5, and 6, Greater Columbus, Saugatuck, and Masters Coaching.
Yeah, Greater Columbus just meandering a little bit into the buoy line between lanes 4 and 5, having to correct that gave a little time away to the boat from Saugatuck and the one from Masters Coaching. So 3 boats going to be vying for the 2 spots on the medal stand if Vesper Composite continues to dominate as they are here in the Women's Open Quad G category final. I would say that's a great composite for Vesper, winning the gold in the Women's Open Quads G category. Greater Columbus giving up some ground to Saugatuck. It's Saugatuck. Big pull coming down at the end. Saugatuck pulling hard, 4 seats ahead. Saugatuck coming in second, then Greater Columbus for third. Masters Coaching in fourth. Chinook A boat in fifth, and Chinook B in sixth in the Women's Open Quads G category.
Saugatuck offering a little strategy and power, pulling ahead in the final few hundred meters of the race. Clearly they could have done it earlier, but their timing was right.
We now have the Women's Open H2K quads. Three Vesper Composites making the final here.
Already heading down the course. Out in the lead in lane 5, it's Vesper Composite B. In lane 6, Texas. And in lane 1, Vesper Composite D. Followed by lane 4, Potomac Composite. In lane 2, it's Vesper Composite C. And in lane 3, Avalon Composite. Now approaching the midpoint of the course.
You tell one of the Vesper Composites there with that V on the back of the uni. Vesper Boat Club out of Philadelphia, one of the long timers when it comes to the history of boating. Founded in 1865, they've produced 9 Olympic medalists at the Vesper Boat Club. And you can see that in the national championships, both the club nationals and here at the Masters Nationals as well. So the Vesper Composite B boat and Texas Center battling for first and second. The Vesper Composite D in third right now. But it looks like the Potomac Composite in lane 4 is beginning to try to move up on them. The Vesper B Composite that's in the lead has about 2/3 of a boat length over the Texas Center, but Texas Center strong and steady and sticking with them. At 750, still in the lead.
Looking at lanes 5 and 6 there, the Vesper Composite B in Texas.
And now that fight for third, really very tight here, about a foot or 2 feet between the Vesper Composite D and the Potomac boat in lane 4. Very tight for third right now. Then back to the C Composite for Vesper.
Slight edge for third to that Vesper Composite D boat. Now entering the final 100 meters of the race.
The Vesper Composite B, stroked by S. Hooten, flying along here in the women's open quads H through K, winning the gold by a boat length of open water over the Texas Center. The battle for third coming up, but it looks like the Vesper Composite D will cross just ahead of Potomac. That will leave the Vesper Composite C and Avalon to cross. There's a shot of the Avalon boat there in the women's open quads H through K final. Live streaming coverage of the U.S. Rowing 2019 Masters National Championships from Grand Rapids, Michigan continues in a moment here on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel. Welcome back to Grand Rapids, Michigan for the Masters National Championships for 2019. I'm Mark Purcell with Rob Shea calling these races as we have a race in the men's open singles with participants ranging in age from 80 to 84 in the J category for the men's open singles. We had a celebration of the octogenarians earlier today here at the Masters Nationals. Quite a photo opportunity it was, Rob.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we've got a couple fantastic events here, 2 single events, one in the J category, and then a K plus category, which is even more amazing. I haven't made a lot of requests of you rowers here in Riverside Park today, but I'm going to demand, absolutely demand, that everybody head to the shore to watch these next 2 races. I want to hear some noise for these rowers in the men's open single in the J category, now crossing the 500-meter mark.
And it's a race. Bart Pasternak of Saugatuck is in lane 1. Lane 2 is Tiger Deemers of Colorado. Lane 3, Hans Worcester of Colorado. Lane 4, Cal Sutcliffe of Potomac. And lane 5 is Art Wright of College Club Seattle. And you're seeing the battle right there. That's Bart Pasternak of Saugatuck in lane 1 and Cal Sutcliffe of Potomac in lane 4. 80 and 82 years young, battling it out at the front of the pack.
And it is a battle. It is a literal battle. These guys still got it in them.
Cal Sutcliffe is making a move out in the lead, but then Bart Pasternak of Saugatuck came roaring up as they come into the 750-meter mark. It is still Sutliff of Potomac out in the lead, but it is a close proximity to Bart Pasternak of Saugatuck. They're almost even
that
at
is too close to
750.
call at the 750.
So it's Bart in the red. Bart in the white from Saugatuck in lane 1. Cal Sutliff from Potomac in the red. And lane 4 battling it out here in the men's open singles in the J category. Here comes Bart Pasternak with a big push here in Saugatuck, riding down the buoy lane. I see Cal Sutliff seeing that and responding to it, trying to catch up. Big push from Pasternak as they're coming down to the finish line. Again, 80 and 82 years old, respectively, showing the gut, the determination, and that discipline it takes to be a great rower for decades.
Absolutely. All right, Riverside Park, let's make some noise for these fantastic competitors. Let's hear it.
Bart Pasternak of Saugatuck crossing the line to win the men's open singles in the J category with Cal Sutliff from Potomac in second. Now it will be the battle for third with Tiger Deemers of Colorado, Hans Wooster of Colorado, and Art Wright from the College Club Seattle. Right now it is advantage for Tiger Deemers of Colorado in lane 2. They're in the final 50 meters. Deemers of Colorado begins his sprint. Coming across the line in third. His teammate Hans Wurster of Colorado trying to chase him down, but Deemers fends off the advance and will get the bronze. Then Wurster of Colorado, followed by Art Wright of College Club Seattle.
What an amazing performance by these athletes in the J category. I'm not sure I could even finish.
You'll be great. 5 years from now, when you're 80, you'll be great. Thanks again to Vespoli for being today's presenting partner of the U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships live streaming. The U.S. Rowing YouTube page, Vespoli.com. Visit that website to learn more how they're advancing the sport of rowing across the country. Another amazing race just getting underway. It's the men's open singles in the K+ category. Don Tannhauser from Casitas in lane 3, Christopher Collins of Ravenna in lane 4, Arnold Land from Lake Leelanau in lane 5.
And if you thought that last event was impressive, we're going to take it up a notch.
Indeed. So in the K+ category, we have 85-year-old Don Tannhauser from Casitas in the green that you'll see coming down.
Wait a minute. Hang, did you say 85 years old?
I
Is that
did
what
say
I heard?
85.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure I follow, but
Ravenna's Christopher Collins racing next to him right now, tight in second, is 87 years
wait
old.
a minute. What was that? Are you sure? 87?
I'll have to check his driver's license when he crosses the finish line, bud.
Okay.
And then
I'm
from
tracking.
Lake Leelanau, Arnold Land, 88 years young, racing in this men's open single race. Right now, Tannhauser and Collins battling for 1 and 2, with Land from Lake Leelanau in third right now as they move towards the 500-meter mark. Tannhauser from Casitas now with about a third of a boat length lead over Collins from Ravana.
Too close to call. Very close.
And only at the halfway point.
Anything can happen.
Collins from Ravana glancing to his right to check on where Tannhauser from Casitas is.
Past the 500. Neck and neck. Heading down the Grand River.
$149 different clubs represented here at this, the second largest U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships. Not only folks from across the country, across the continent, around the world, Serbia, Austria, Canada, the U.S., also ages from 21 to at least 88. Look at this, half a boat length advantage from Casitas over Ravana right now.
Here they come, Riverside Park. Let's make some noise. Head down to the river and make some noise for these fantastic competitors. They can't hear you.
In the green boat, that's Don Tannhauser of Casitas in the lead right now, beginning to pull away. Christopher Collins from Ravana, who is right with him most of the thing, is now trying to catch up as they move into the final 250. And let's cheer for our third place competitor here, just approaching the 750 from Lake Leelanau in Michigan, Arnold Land. '88 years old and still rowing strong. Out front, big sprint now from Don Tannhauser of Casitas.
Upping the stroke rate.
The men's open singles crossing the line for the gold. Here comes Christopher Collins of Ravana for second. Then Arnold Land from Lake Leelanau crossing the line in third in the men's open singles K finals. Look at this. Decades of experience here for Arnold Land of Lake Leelanau. Imagine how well you will be rowing when you are 88 years old.
Definitely not that well. Absolutely stunning. Now heading up to the finish, just 50 meters away. Let's hear it for him down at the finish.
What a race for Arnold Land. The U.S. Rowing YouTube channel live streaming the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships, continuing with the Women's Club 8s. CRI B in lane 1, CRI A in lane 2, Lincoln Park lane 3, Genesee lane 4, Western Reserve in lane 5, all even at 500 in the Women's Club 8s A category, that 27 to 35-year-old category, and they are tight at 500 with a race right in the middle. You can hardly stick a credit card between them.
A very slight edge. Genesee in lane 4. Lincoln Park in lane 3 in the middle there. The white boat in lane 3. And then CRI in lane 2. 2, 3, 4.
Then the CRI B boat And the Western Reserve boat flanking. Look at this race.
But it's that Armada in the middle that's going to vie for the gold.
Coming down to 750. Let's look at the bow balls as they come by.
Looks like Lincoln Park may have edged into the
4,
front. It changes
3,
every stroke.
2, 4, 3, 2. That's Genesee, Lincoln Park, CRI in that order. Then it's Western Reserve and the CRI B boat. Going to be tight when it comes down to the line. CRI's A boat trying to catch up with Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park out ahead now by a deck. Genesee fighting to stick with them. Six strokes from the finish. The women's club 8s. The A category, Lincoln Park pulling out, continuing to press forward. It is Lincoln Park winning the gold. Genesee in second, CRI's A boat in third. Western Reserve in fourth and CRI's B boat in fifth. And the women's club 8s.
That was fantastic. The first half of that race, it was not entirely clear who would come out on top. But they powered through in the second half to make it happen.
Side by side by side.
Up next, the mixed quad in the C category. In this final, lane 1, Everett. In lane 2, Chinook. In lane 3, Greenwich. Lane 4, Vesper Composite. In lane 5, 612 Endurance. And in lane 6, Georgian Bay.
Greenwich with the advantage, it appears, as they approach 500. Out fast and staying fast right now. Vesper Composite right beside them, along with the Georgian Bay boat. And the 612 Endurance boat. So we get a look right here. It is Greenwich out ahead with 612 Endurance in second right now. Vesper Composite in third, not to be left out. Everett Association right there in fourth, and a very, very tight fourth. Chinook in fifth, and the Georgian Bay boat actually trailing the field right now as they move down the course. Greenwich out in front. They were out in front fast. High stroke rate through the first 500 and maintaining it in the third 250 as they cross 750. It is still Greenwich out ahead of the 612 Endurance and Vesper Composite. 612 Endurance with the best chance right now. Vesper Composite in third. Back to Everett Association now in fourth as they come down into the final 250. Then Chinook and Georgian Bay.
Greenwich hanging on to that lead in lane 3. 612 Endurance in lane 5, followed by Vesper in lane 4, leading the pack.
Greenwich looking hot. The mixed quad, 2 men, 2 women in each of these boats. Oh, here comes a big push in lane 4 from the Vesper Composite, but they will have to settle for third as it is Greenwich, 612 Endurance, and Vesper in that order, followed by Everett Association. Then Chinook and the Canadians, Georgian Bay. Mixed quads, C category final. No rest for the weary as we have the mixed E doubles. The mixed doubles in the E category right now, passing through 500. We got Aspirin Caritas from San Diego in lane 1. Griffith and Batani from Chinook Composite in lane 2. Kerman and Reynolds from Upper Valley in lane 3. Gay and Bumstead from Narragansett in lane 4. Gasper and Gress from Rocky Mountain lane 5. Goforth and Boxer Rockler from Chinook in lane 6. And as we join the race about 600 meters in, it does appear that it's that boat in lane 4 from Narragansett, Gay and Bumstead, out with an open water lead, but being chased by the Chinook Composite in lane 2 of Griffith and Batani. The battle here might be for third, Rob. It looks like Rocky Mountain and Chinook in lanes 5 and 6 are going at it, and the Upper Valley boat not far behind, but at 7:50, a very commanding lead for the boat in lane 4 of Gay and Bumstead of Narragansett.
Dominating just as they did earlier today in the heats.
Griffith and Battania, the Chinook Composite, in second right now as they move through 7:50. Then that battle for third, very tight between lanes 5, 6, and 3, with the Upper Valley boat now beginning to make a move through 7:50 and trying to catch up with Chinook boat in lane 6 and Rocky Mountain in lane 5. Rocky Mountain in lane 5 right now in third place, but out in front, Gay and Bumstead of Narragansett. Closely followed by Griffith and Battania in the Chinook Composite in lane 2, coming down to the finish line.
And in lane 4, it's Narragansett. Followed in lane 2 by Chinook Composite.
Here comes the battle for third to the finish in the mixed doubles in the E category. It does look like the Rocky Mountain boat held off the advancing boat from Upper Valley. Upper Valley crosses the line, then it's Goforth and Boxer Walkler from Chinook in the mixed doubles. More racing, another final coming up after a break here on the live streaming of the 2019 Master National Championships from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Here we go.
Wrapping up the day with some family-friendly events.
Indeed. The parent-child, mother-daughter doubles happening right now and approaching the 500-meter mark.
In lane 2, it's Cuthbertson and Dodge from Saugatuck. In lane 3, Harrison and Talbot from Georgian Bay. In lane 4, Hollins and Hollins from Lake Leelanau. And in lane 5, Evans and Evans, Rocky Mountain.
And it is lane 2, Cuthbertson and Dodge from Saugatuck in the lead by about a boat length over Evans and Evans of Rocky Mountain. The mother-daughter doubles. Long tradition at the Masters Nationals. The family races, mother-daughter, mother-son, father-daughter, father-son. Always enjoyable to watch, and we are seeing them go head-to-head here. The Saugatuck boat in lane 2 and the Rocky Mountain boat in lane 5, wanting those bragging rights. In the meantime, it's Georgian Bay in third and Lake Leelanau in fourth. $7.50. Cuthbertson and Dodge from Saugatuck by a boat length. In the meantime, Evans and Evans from Rocky Mountain in second, but facing a threat from Harrison and Talbot of Georgian Bay. Saugatuck pulling hard, glancing to their left, checking out the competition as they streak towards the finish line. Evans and Evans of Rocky Mountain feeling that threat from the Georgian Bay boat in lane 3, trying to fend off the advancing Georgian Bay boat. But boy, look at this boat in lane 2, Cuthbertson and Dodge from Saugatuck in fine form in this mother-daughter double.
I think they may have practiced together a bit for this one.
Here they come to the finish line in the mother-daughter doubles. Cuthbertson and Dodge from Saugatuck winning. Harrison and Talbot from Georgia Bay with a big, big pull at the end coming in second place, and then it was Evans and Evans of Rocky Mountain in third. That leaves Hollins and Hollins from Lake Leelanau for fourth in the mother-daughter doubles as they stroke towards the finish line. Good sports, I'm sure. Either a mother or a daughter was persuaded to compete in this race. And great to see that willingness to put themselves out there. So we watch Hollins and Hollins of Lake Leelanau cross the finish line and wrap up this day of finals. Rob Shea, thank you again for another great call here on this Saturday of finals at
My
the
pleasure,
Masters
Mark.
Nationals. Great fun here. Again, we'll be streaming the finals, live streaming on the YouTube channel for U.S. Rowing. Tomorrow, beginning with the finals in the afternoon around 3. Check your schedule on herenow.com just to see what happens. And remember to patronize our sponsors who make these live streams possible. For Rob Shea, I'm Mark Purcell, wishing you a good evening from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the 2019 U.S. Rowing Masters National Championships.
Why deal with the hassle of transport when you can rent new boats from Wintech? Keep it simple. Show up, row, win, and party. Leave the logistics and hassles to us. Check out the service we're providing Team Chinook, and if you'd like more information, feel free to stop by the Row America booth and talk to a representative today.